Number 2, no satellite dish required. DirecTV through Allo. And at number 3, Allo Mobile. Allo Fiber, the official internet, TV, and mobile partner of Husker Nation. Level up your game and go to allofiber.com/Husker Radio.
Mike, the insurance company wants us to replace the roof.
Wait, what? I thought everything was fine.
Yeah, it says right here our roof is too old and they won't be able to cover us anymore.
I guess it is 15 years old. Hi, I'm Austin with Roofing Service Company. We help homeowners with their roofing and siding projects. Financing options are available, and we can get you under a new roof no time at all. If this sounds like you, visit roofingservicecompany.com. That is roofingservicecompany.com.
Have you heard about Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center? Located at 7555 Pioneers Boulevard, Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center offers compassionate, patient-focused care and provides outpatient surgery services, making it possible to have non-emergency surgery and return home the same day. Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center specializes in cardiology, vascular radiology, orthopedics, pain management, and much, much more. Give them a call today at 402-261-1085 or online at amimaging.com.
Big value and big flavor meet at Wings and Rings thanks to the all-new delicious Duo Combo. This is the one you've been waiting for. Get one half-sized appetizer and 2 entrees with a side for only $19.99. Bring a friend for the best deal in town on any day of the week, during game time, or whenever the heck you want. Their made-to-order wings and chicken sandwiches are waiting for you at their 68th and O and 40th and Old Cheney locations. Stop by Wings and Rings and celebrate every day with the best meal deal in town.
Empire Netting and Fence delivers top-quality netting and fence solutions. From major sports venues to backyard installs and everything in between, coast to coast. We take on tough jobs with grit, integrity, and a strong commitment to safety. Empire is growing, and we're hiring motivated people ready to grow with us. We build each other up. And we're building something big. Think you've got what it takes? Apply now at empire-fence.com. That's empire.
For remote starters, audio upgrades, and more, there's only one place to go. Auto Sounds of Lincoln at 48th and O.
At Jimmy John's, we don't make sandwiches. We make the sandwich of sandwiches. We use fresh veggies because we don't hate salads. We just feel bad for them. We make our sandwiches exactly how you want because you're the one who's eating it. And we bake bread all day, every day, because stale bread isn't bread. It's croutons. Sandwich history is written by the victors. Good thing we have legible handwriting. Jimmy John's, the sandwich of sandwiches. Order pickup or delivery on the app.
Your possibilities are endless at Doane University. Rooted in liberal arts, you can choose from undergraduate and graduate programs, all delivering real-world experience. At Doane University, we take a personal approach to education, giving you the guidance you need to own your future. It's not just our long history of innovative learning, it's the feeling of being surrounded by possibilities that makes us different. Now is your time. Apply today at doane.edu/apply.
This is a presentation of Nebraska High School football on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. High school football broadcasts are powered by Edward Stone, Sunbelt Rentals, Union Bank and Trust, Doane University, Hamilton Telecommunications, Jimmy John's, Nebraska Army National Guard, Nebraska Department of Transportation Highway Safety Office, and Play It Again Sports. Now, calling all the action, here's Nick Sainert and Jay Foreman.
That is right. Welcome back into Memorial Stadium as we are getting ready for the Class C2 State Championship game here on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Pleased that you could be with us here on a cold, windy Tuesday afternoon from Memorial Stadium. The wind blowing at about 24 miles per hour as we get ready for kickoff in Class C2 action between Bishop Neumann and Grand Island Central Catholic. Nick Sainert alongside the Husker Hall of Famer Jay Foreman. Jay will join me in just a moment as we prep for the matchup between Bishop Neumann, the Cavaliers, and the Crusaders of Grand Island Central Catholic. Let's talk first about the visitors on the scoreboard. The Bishop Neumann Cavaliers. They come in with a record of 11-1 on the year. Their one loss came to Class C1 opponent in the Malcolm Clippers. But this is a team that in their first couple of weeks of the season knocked off some teams that we've seen in the Class C2 playoffs this season. In Norfolk Catholic, who's the defending state champion, under a new coach, Bishop Neumann, was able to knock off the defending state champions in game number 1 by a touchdown. They follow that up with wins against UTAN, Hastings St. Cecilia, Palmyra, later in the year against Lincoln Lutheran. There's been a lot of really, really good matchups for this Bishop Neumann team and a lot of really, really impressive wins for the Cavaliers, who I mentioned under new leadership. They're led by new head coach Joe Pavlik, who made his way over to Bishop Neumann from Syracuse High School in the offseason. And once again, as I mentioned, promptly thrown into the C2 fire. And that one loss came to fellow C2 opponent Malcolm. I think I misspoke a few minutes ago and mentioned that Malcolm was C1. But nonetheless, when you look at what Coach Joe Pavlik has been able to do with his new team, they defeated, as I mentioned, playoff qualifiers Norfolk Catholic, UTAN, West Point Beamer in consecutive weeks to open the season. And once again, that one loss to the Malcolm Clippers. They are looking for their first state title, the Bishop Neumann Cavaliers are, since they went back-to-back in 2002 and 2003 and took home the C1 crowns. Neumann this season has relied on a bruising running attack throughout the entire campaign. Senior running backs Jack Van Slyke and Landon Sund are the names to know. Van Slyke with a little over 1,100 yards rushing, 20 rushing touchdowns, while Landon Sund has just over 1,000 rushing yards on the season and 8 rushing touchdowns to his name. Those two are leading the way on the ground and pound attack for the Bishop Neumann Cavaliers. An offense that's directed by quarterback Bo Fujan, a senior listed at 6'3", 180 pounds. He can also do a little bit of both. He runs and throws it pretty well for the Bishop Neumann Cavaliers. 439 yards on the ground, 895 yards through the air this season. He's accounted for 13 touchdowns this year and just 3 INTs. On the defensive side of the ball for the Bishop Neumann Cavaliers, as I mentioned, Jack Van Slyke, the do-it-all running back, he also leads a defense that has forced 19 turnovers this season. They head into the finals with 132 tackles to Jack Van Slyke's name. That is a state lead across all classes. Sophomore Henry Woida and junior Quinn Shute also high on the team in the state in tackles. Woida with 116 on the year, while Shute has 101 in tackles. Now, there's a team high in interceptions for Bishop Neumann, comes in the form of Alex Berry. He has 4 INTs on the year. Now, just some wrapping it up on Bishop Neumann Cavaliers. They've been to the state playoffs 34 times in school history. However, it is just the second time that Bishop Neumann has played in consecutive title games. It won the C1 title, as I mentioned, in 2002 and 2003. They were here in last year's final, fell to Norfolk Catholic in the C2 championship game. And prior to that, Neumann, who with all these playoff appearances, had lost in the first round on 5 consecutive occasions. New head coach Joe Pavlik comes in, has some success, and the Bishop Neumann Cavaliers are trying to capture and hoist their first trophy since 2003. On the other sideline, it's the Grand Island Central Catholic Crusaders, also coming in with an 11-1 record. I mentioned the one team that Bishop Neumann has lost to. Well, GICC actually beat them early in the year, 27-7. But once again, this is a senior class at GICC that didn't win a single football game their freshman year. But however, they have now completed the ultimate reversal, and they are here in the state title game for the first time as a program since 1983. This GICC team has yet to win a state championship in school history. And we mentioned all the bright spots on the Neumann defense. GICC has made their hay, and they've been successful or they've failed because of their defense. Listen to these statistics here. On this relentless defense, the Crusaders did not allow a single offensive touchdown until week 6 of the season. They went half of the year without allowing a touchdown on offense. This is a defense that has 24 sacks on the season and a 122 tackles for loss as a team here in 2025. They've also forced 23 turnovers. Sophomore linebacker Jackson Gangwish has 131 tackles on the season. Fellow sophomore Owen Price has 92, and Jack Albert is third on the GICC Crusaders defense in tackles with 87. Now, I mentioned the defense has really been where GICC has hung their hat and really earned their stripes this year, but the offense, especially in the playoffs, has been astounding. In the playoff, it's worked around quarterback Grayson Sack. The dual threat quarterback has thrown for 1,700 yards, almost 1,800 this season. He's ran for almost 850, and he's accounted for almost 30 total touchdowns here this season. His favorite target on the perimeter is going to be a guy by the name of Connor Haney. 42 catches, 972 receiving yards, 12 touchdown catches on the season. He's also Alberts, I should say, and Jack Alberts is the leading rusher on this team with almost 995 rushing yards and 17 rushing touchdowns this season. We've had a really good slate of games throughout the first 4 matchups in the state tournament here. State championships here yesterday and today. We saw 3 champions crowned yesterday. Today, this morning, we were able to see Wahoo complete the back-to-back quest and earn their second state championship in as many seasons. Now, as we turn our attention to C2 action on a chilly afternoon here at Memorial Stadium, it's the Bishop Neumann Cavaliers trying to capture their first title since '03, and the Grand Island Central Catholic Crusaders trying to capture their first trophy in school history. Which one can make history in the next couple of hours? We'll find out as we step aside for a national anthem. And when we come back, the Husker Hall of Famer Jay Foreman will join me as we continue to get ready for GICC and Bishop Neumann in the Class C2 state championship match.
At Jimmy John's, we don't make sandwiches. We make the sandwich of sandwiches. We use fresh veggies because we don't hate salads. We just feel bad for them. We make our sandwiches exactly how you want because you're the one who's eating it. And we bake bread all day, every day, because stale bread isn't bread. It's croutons. Sandwich history is written by the victors. Good thing we have legible handwriting. Jimmy John's, the sandwich of sandwiches. Order pickup or delivery on the app.
Your possibilities are endless at Doane University. Rooted in liberal arts, you can choose from undergraduate and graduate programs, all delivering real-world experience. At Doane University, we take a personal approach to education, giving you the guidance you need to own your future. It's not just our long history of innovative learning, it's the feeling of being surrounded by possibilities that makes us different. Now is your time. Apply today at doane.edu/apply.
With UBT, you've got total control over your money. Like Doug, who runs his game day tailgate like a well-oiled machine.
I got burgers, brats, chicken, dogs, plus all the fixins. And with the UBT Go app, I can track my food spending from anywhere.
Pro move.
They don't call me Grill Sergeant for nothing.
No matter your goals, UBT helps you feel good about reaching them. Union Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
If you're a homeowner or a business owner, you have a lot of projects, and no one has an unlimited budget or time. Sunbelt Rentals makes all jobs less stressful with no need to purchase large equipment or hire a crew. You can do it yourself with rentals and everything from aerators and power rakes for spring yard work to stump grinders, concrete mixers, tile saws, and more. Check out their inventory in Lincoln, north of Cornhusker Highway on 56th Street, or online at sunbeltrentals.com.
Imagine starting your day with a computer glitch that leaves you feeling stuck, frustrated, and unable to get your work done. You have 1,000,001 things to get done today, and waiting for the tech issue to solve itself isn't one of them. It's time to let Hamilton handle the tech so you don't have to. We help businesses across the state spend more time on what they do best and less time frustrated with office technology. As the official business IT partner of the Huskers, we're focused on providing custom solutions that set you up for success now and in the future. Connect with us today at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
With UBT, you've got total control over your money. Like Doug, who runs his game day tailgate like a well-oiled machine.
I got burgers, brats, chicken, dogs, plus all the fixins. And with the UBT Go app, I can track my food spending from anywhere.
Pro move.
They don't call me Grill Sergeant for nothing.
No matter your goals, UBT helps you feel good about reaching them. Union Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
At Doane University, we build leaders, and that means your success and achievements come first. Now is the time to get a glimpse into living and learning at Doane University through a personalized in-person or virtual visit. We know once you experience Doane, you'll see why it's a place where you can achieve your goals and shape your future. Schedule your personal campus visit today at doane.edu/visit.
Ready to score big with your projects? Look no further than Edward Stone, the MVP of natural stone for over 2 decades. Edward Stone is cranking out over 30,000 square feet every week and offers a winning lineup of over 70 quality natural veneer stone selections. Their unbeatable variety and experienced team will ensure your project is a success, whether it's a home renovation or a commercial build. And hey, they're not just about stone. They've got an all-star lineup of fireplaces, cast stone, brick, and much more. Swing by one of their locations in Lincoln or Omaha today and experience the Edward Stone difference, your reliable choice for over 20 years.
Attention, Nebraska sports fans. Are you ready to take your skills to the next level? The Army National Guard is looking for leaders who are dedicated, driven, and ready to make a difference. Join up and gain invaluable experience while serving your country with a flexible schedule, competitive benefits, and a chance to build a strong future. Learn more at nationalguard.com/Nebraska. Live here, serve here. The Nebraska Army National Guard. Guard the good life. If you're a homeowner or a business owner, you have a lot of projects, and no one has an unlimited budget or time. Sunbelt Rentals makes all jobs less stressful with no need to purchase large equipment or hire a crew. You can do it yourself with rentals and everything from aerators and power rakes for spring yard work to stump grinders, concrete mixers, tile saws, and more. Check out their inventory in Lincoln, north of Cornhusker Highway on 56th Street, or online at sunbeltrentals.com.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Welcome back to high school football on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back into Memorial Stadium. Nick Sanders alongside the Husker Hall of Famer Jay Foreman ahead of the Class C2 state championship game here on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Once again, coming at you from Memorial Stadium on a Tuesday afternoon ahead of the Class C2 state championship game between the Bishop Neumann Cavaliers and the Grand Island Central Catholic Crusaders here on a day where at kickoff it is 46 degrees with the wind blowing at 24 miles an hour directly southeast through the stadium here in downtown Lincoln. It's the Cavaliers of Bishop Neumann against the Crusaders of Grand Island Central Catholic. Bishop Neumann won the toss. They elected to defer, which means we will see this GICC offense on the field first. They played 5 playoff teams in this season that they were able to go through relatively unscathed. Grand Island Central Catholic, their one loss on the year, came back on October 3rd in a 21-14 loss to Ord. On the other end, Bishop Neumann, no transitive property here this afternoon. Bishop Neumann did not play Ord this season. Jay, good afternoon, my friend. And it is a chilly day at Memorial Stadium. The wind's certainly going to be a factor. We saw it become a factor in the first game.
Well, you know what? Some of the texters and listeners were a little upset at you last night about the saying it was cold. Now it's officially cold, and it's via the wind. Obviously, it's 23.5 miles per hour as we see up here. But there's nothing like Championship Tuesday or the second day of championships, and both teams are trying to cement themselves in their school history and Nebraska history. And you know what? As cold as we know it is as adults, those young men down there aren't feeling a thing because they're more than excited to play for a state championship.
Sandy Creek won the D1 title game. Why not won the D2 title game? Waverly, and for the first time in 45 years, captured the Class B crown. We saw earlier today the Wahoo Warriors accomplish the back-to-back feat. Here it's GICC against Bishop Neumann. In the Class A matchup later tonight at 7:15 p.m., it'll be Millard South and Papillion La Vista South. 2 more champions to crown in Class C2 and Class A, respectively. We are ready to go here at Memorial Stadium. Part of the shadows are covering the field. The entire west sideline is under those shadows. We have a whistle before we start play here in the opening kickoff. And from the far sideline, the official said, well, hold on now. We got to slow it down. I'm not sure the TV folks are ready to go just quite yet here at Memorial Stadium.
Yeah, I don't think out the Bishop Neumann and Grand Island, they have to worry about too much TV, and they're on the big time. And that's part of getting it, making all the way down here to Lincoln to win a state championship. But also, Nick, as we talked about, as it got darker last night, being able to track the ball in the bright lights. Also, the ability, especially on special teams, whether you're kicking with the wind or against the wind, whoever's returning, being able to track the ball, catch it securely, and then also keep the timing of the punt or kick return respectfully. So that's going to play a factor. Hopefully they prepared for it. I don't think you can prepare for it, on a day-to-day basis in 23, 24-mile-an-hour winds. But when you're on site for a championship, you got to make the most of it.
Grand Island Central Catholic in their blue helmets, blue pants, white jerseys with the blue numbers. Bishop Neumann, silver helmets, red jerseys, white letters and numbers, and silver pants as well. They'll kick towards the south end zone with the wind at their back. It's a low line drive kick, short kick, fielded at the 32-yard line by GICC and brought across the 35-yard line to the 36. We saw earlier today, Jay, where the teams that are going into the wind, it is not easy to throw the ball into it. We saw 4 interceptions from the Sydney Red Raiders earlier today. They could not get the ground game going, which then didn't open up things for the passing game. GICC, thankfully, doesn't really utilize anything else other than the running game.
Yeah, and that plays to their favor. So it doesn't matter whether they have to pass or not. They're going to play the same. But if you're a team that's down by a score or two and you don't have the wind at your back, that could really stymie your chances of becoming a state champion.
Pistol formation here for the quarterback. Sack as he tosses it right side. Ball is on the ground. Bishop Neumann recovers. It takes one play for the first turnover of the game to happen as GICC ran a simple option to the right side. Grayson Sack tossed it to the right side to number 11, Jack Alberts. Alberts fumbled the football, and then number 11 for Bishop Neumann, the defense, Quinn Shute, was able to jump on it and recover it. And so Bishop Neumann, right off the bat, forces a turnover, and they start on offense 1st and 10.
Yeah, we saw, one thing about it when the temperatures get cooler and it's actually in windy conditions, Nick, the ball naturally gets slicker. And so you saw that come out there for the first possession there for Grand Island. Let's see if their defense can step up and keep them out of field goal range.
So here we go on first down here. Bishop Neumann carries it right side for a gain of 4 yards on the play. That was number 18 on the carry, Jack Van Slyke, the guy who we will talk about many times here this afternoon. Van Slyke on the year, 1,100 rushing yards, 20 rushing touchdowns. He's also paired up in the backfield with Landon Sun, who's accounted for 8 rushing touchdowns this season.
Yeah, both teams mirror each other. Obviously, Bishop Neumann puts it in the air a little bit more, but they're trying to line up those tight splits, old school football, Nick, fullback dive option. You saw it there on the first play from both teams.
So here we go on 2nd down and 6 from the 30-yard line of GICC. They turn, hand it off. Van Slyke, a big hole up the left side. There he goes, bounces outside, and we have our first touchdown of the day as Jack Van Slyke brings it in from 30 yards out. It takes 2 plays on offense after the GICC fumble, and Bishop Neumann strikes first.
Really good read there by Van Slyke. He started off tackle, and it was a really good block on the perimeter. Anytime you have a good running team, you got the block, and you see block well on the perimeter. You see on this replay there, he got a good seal block there by the receiver and enough speed to hit the sideline, outrun the defense. That's what you want when you're trying to win a state championship. You want to take advantage of any turnover that your opposition gives you. Really good job there by Bishop Neumann. Even a better run there by number 18.
So the extra point try is just a moment away as Neumann gets the snap down. The kick is blocked, and so it is no good. Great penetration up front by GICC. Don't forget, as Bishop Neumann leads 6-0, this is a GICC defense that didn't allow a touchdown the first 6 weeks of the season until they played Ord on October 3rd. They did not allow an offensive touchdown through opponents like Hastings St. Cecilia, Malcolm, Hershey, Superior, and Centura. But here, within the first 58 seconds, after their offense fumbled, their defense was up against the wall, and they allow a rushing touchdown.
Yeah, right now, Grand Island has to make has the rebound here because you know what? You had your best unit out there. They have 2 really good units, offense and defense, but you feel like you could take the ball down and get a couple first downs against Bishop Neumann. You had a turnover. Then you put your defense, your stellar defense, that you just mentioned on the field, and they score rather easily. So the momentum is not on your sidelines, but there's a lot of football left. There's essentially a whole game with only 58 seconds off the game clock, and so they just got to get back in the rhythm. We saw this last night with Waverly, right? They fumbled on their first possession. They rebounded, ended up winning the game pretty easily, and so Grand Island has just got to get back to work. Grand Island, Central Catholic, led by Jeff Ashby, has got to it's a free timeout here, right? And this is what you need to do. First of all, the special teams unit, you got to make them alert of what, Nick? Onside kick, squib kick. Why? Because the momentum for Bishop Neumann is significantly higher than obviously Grand Island Central Catholic. But when you can try to put an opponent away early, you do it via special teams. We've seen it when we coached or called some high school games earlier in the year. Then obviously saw a little bit last night and during the day when they weren't kicking to Hegstrom, and we saw how dangerous he was, but it worked out to their favor. So we'll see what happens.
So 11:02 shows on the game clock here in the first quarter in the Class C2 state championship game. Once again, if you're just joining us, Nick Sainert, Jay Foreman alongside Jake Bachhoven and the crew back in our 93.7 The Ticket studios. Hope you stuck around for Bach and the black shirt there a little while ago as Kenny Wilhite joined them on K-Dub Tuesday. And so good stuff there back at 1040 O Street in our 93.7 The Ticket studios. Now 11:02 to go, and it's a deja vu moment as Bishop Neumann lines it up 58 seconds later and kicks it off again. This one fielded a little farther back at their own 18-yard line. Here goes GICC. Here's Graham Stava. Stava bounces outside the numbers on the far sideline before getting upended by a couple of Bishop Neumann kick coverage guys on the far sideline, and it's going to be 1st and 10 for GICC from their own 32.
Yeah, Grand Island Central Catholic thought they had a chance to get a big return, but Quinn Shutter did a really good job of coming from the backside and being pretty physical. And also he also tried to rake the ball out. So that's a point of emphasis, as you see from Bishop Neumann going against his Grand Island Central Catholic offense.
So once again, 10 minutes, 52 seconds to play in the first quarter. Ball's on the GICC 32-yard line. Going up against Bishop Neumann. Here's the Crusaders on offense. They turn, they hand it off. Alberts with another try at it. He fumbled on his first carry of the day. This one he's able to hold on to, but he doesn't get very far as he gets right back to the line of scrimmage, 2nd and 10.
Yeah, Matthew Thulin, the big defensive tackle from Bishop Neumann. He doesn't get credit for the tackle, but he blew that play up. And Grand Island Central Catholic, as we saw with Waverly last night with Axman, you're going to give it right back to your all-everything running back just to get the confidence in back in his system. Let's see what they're cooking with right now, Nick. They're coming out with 11 personnel. Look like they're trying to spread this Bishop Neumann defense a little bit thin to try to run it up the middle.
Sack keeps the ball off the handoff opportunity. It looked like it was going to be an option to pass for Sack, but there was nothing going on that far sideline. He has to absorb the sack, and so he goes down for a loss of 6 or 7 on the play, all the way back at the 27-yard line. So it's a loss of 5 officially. 3rd down and 15 coming up.
Yeah, Mr. Sack got sacked there by Quinn Shutt there, and he's pretty active here in the first 4 or 5 plays. He was Sack was looking for Connor Haney to read it the same way he did, and he just kept blocking like it was the run option. So a little bit of miscommunication early from Grand Island Central Catholic.
3rd down and 15 going into the wind. A triple option look here as Sack tosses left side. It is number 7, Grayson Sack now with it, and it is going to be a 4th down coming up as they got 5 yards on 3rd down and a mile. I misspoke there. They lined up number 9, it looked like, Thomas Schneider, as the quarterback to start that option, and then Sack was actually the pitch option there. And so a little bit of a
it was a double. It was
play.
It was going to be a double option. It started out with a read option with the H-back, and then it was going to go to the original quarterback that was going to give him a chance to pitch it there on the sideline.
And how about this? GICC having faith in their defense. They keep their offense on the field, 4th and 10 from their own 32-yard line. Sack looking downfield, throws into the wind. There's a receiver. There's 2 receivers. Wow. And somehow number 21, Braylon Wolf, is able to come down with it. He was in the same area, and by same area, I mean within a yard of his teammate, number 5, Graham Stava. There were 2 Bishop Neumann defenders in the area, and somehow, some way, Braylon Wolf comes down with it to convert the 4th down.
Yeah, Braylon Wolf took a little bit of the star power from Graham Stava, but either way, it works out for Grand Central Catholic.
Here's Sack, tosses it right side with it. Now is Jack Alberts. Alberts bounces outside the numbers. He gets a gain of 9, maybe even 10 to the 1st down marker. GICC, what a throw by Sack into the wind there. to convert on that 4th down and 10 from your own 30-yard line. And now GICC is in the red zone, 1st and 10.
Yeah, you see the momentum obviously on GICC's sideline, and a big pass play can do that for any team in the state championship.
Toss left side. Here's Alberts bouncing outside near side as he continues to weave his way through traffic. How about Jack Alberts? Runs of 10 and 11 now on consecutive plays. It's going to be 1st and goal from the 7.
You know, Nick, we're talking about how you throw into the wind. Running into the wind, obviously having good leverage, and obviously running over and covering the ball with your pads is going to be effective too, because you run up too straight up, you won't run as fast. But Mr. Alberts is having pretty much ease against this Bishop Neumann defense. Now, what you're going to see down here in the red zone, you're going to have to expand your playbook from what you do out on the field, because if you try to run like read option, they're playing that because you're not really a passing team. So look for a little trickeration here from GICC in the red zone.
Grayson Sack ran it on 1st down and goal. He goes forward for about 2 yards to make it 2nd and goal from the 5. 7:44 to go, 1st quarter, 6-0 Neumann. They turn, hand it off. Alberts up the middle. He'll trot on in. Touchdown, GICC. Really, and we are all tied up at 6.
Really good job there by Jeff Asby's crew as far as the offensive play call. Everything you've seen ever since they started the game was what? Out wide, right? A read option. And then they came down in the red zone. That is maybe their form of trickeration. They sent Alberts right up the middle as the parting of the Red Sea. Tied game 6-6, just like that. And, we might not be to the point of why not last night, where we were on a record pace. But 2 quick scores there by each team's offense got them settled into this game. And early in the first quarter with 7 minutes, 37 seconds left.
It appears they'll keep the offense out there for a 2-point try here on the 3-yard line. Quarterback keeper, he walks it in. The 2-point conversion is successful. And with 7:37 to play in the first quarter, it's 8-6. Jackson Gangwish was the one who ran it in for Grand Island Central Catholic as the Crusaders hold a 2-point lead. So a little bit of positive to go with the negative for GICC. The first possession on offense for them, they fumble it on their first play from scrimmage. Bishop Neumann then scores a touchdown 2 plays later. However, GICC answered the bell, Jay Foreman, where they're able to come back, answer with a touchdown of their own. There's some confidence in this GICC offense.
Yeah, when you come in at 11-1 and you've had a really good defensive year and obviously offensive year as well, you go against I guess every single metrics or every single odds to go for it on 4th down, backed up on your own territory, but a big pass play led into an easy touchdown. Now they have stole the momentum back. So now when you talked about last night for Waverly, and obviously we're here today with GICC and Bishop Neumann, now it's even Steven, 7 minutes left in the first quarter. Let's go get after it and see who's going to be state champ.
So here we go, 7:37 to play in the first quarter. GICC tees it up, and they will kick it towards the north end zone into that wind that's blowing at 23 miles an hour here at Memorial Stadium. It's 46 degrees right now. Feels a little bit cooler than that as the snow is in the forecast for later this week of Nebraska, Iowa. We'll see what that one plays to the strengths of which team. And as this is a short kick fielded on the fly at the 17-yard line, here comes Bishop Neumann up the right side, inside the numbers though, and finally tackled past the 35-yard line at the 38 by on that return by number 2 of Bishop Neumann. That's Willie Ullery on the return.
Yeah, when you were talking about passing, Nick, and we're talking about running as well, one thing that we didn't really cover is kicking into the wind on kickoffs. It's setting up for whoever is having the wind at their back that they're going to get excellent opportunities at really good field position to start their drives. And so Bishop Neumann is almost at the 40-yard line. First time they're going to touch the ball, or the second time they're going to touch the ball. Let's see what they do with it.
So here we go. Bishop Neumann on offense, led and on offense by the 2 running backs, Van Slyke and Son. Van Slyke was the one that scored the touchdown last drive here. He gets it on 1st down, and he goes nowhere. A very short gain of maybe 2 up to the 40-yard line. A great job there, and that is going to be 2nd down and 8 coming up.
Yeah, a little bit of fullback dive that they scored on. They tried to come back and see if they could fool them again with it, but Mason Vasquez did a really good job of scraping over top, filling the hole. Really strong tackle there from the junior linebacker from GICC.
A little bit of a contrast, in their running backs. Van Slyke is going to be listed at 6 feet, 215 pounds, while Son a little bit lighter at 5'9", 170. We saw Sun on the last play here. They turn, fake the handoff. Quarterback keeps it. Didn't even have a chance to pitch it to Sun in the backfield on the triple option read. Instead, he's driven back by number 1 of GICC, Connor Haney. The senior linebacker got into the backfield and makes a stop.
Connor Haney did a really good job of keeping his pad square and reading the mesh there from Bishop Neumann. Then he was able to pick up a good sack there for a tackle for loss.
So now that takes it back to the original line of scrimmage. 3rd down and 10 coming up from the 38-yard line of Bishop Neumann after they scored on a 30-yard touchdown run just a few moments ago, and then they allowed a touchdown of their own to GICC. Here they have it 3rd down and 10 with 6:07 to go in the opening quarter. Snap back, they turn, hand it off right up the middle they go. Here's Landon Sund. He gets shy of the 45-yard line to the 44, and it'll be short of the first down line to gain, but it'll be a nice gain of about 6 yards on 3rd down.
Yeah, it looked like it's going to be 4th down, and I think the decision for Bishop Neumann is to punt it. And they both believe in their run game, Nick. When you're at 3rd and 10 and, 4th and long as GICC had, obviously they passed it, but 3rd and 10 to run it on an inside power play, that lets you know you believe in your offensive line, something that they're setting up for maybe later in the game.
5:34 to go, first quarter, 8-6, Grand Island Central Catholic over Bishop Neumann. A good snap. Now it's bobbled by the punter. He's able to corral it. He's going to have to try to do something crazy. It's going to be a fake punt as he chucks it downfield. That one's tipped away, almost intercepted, but GICC able to make a smart play after they had relentless pursuit of the punter after he bobbled it, and GICC takes over on the plus side of the 50.
Yeah, good job there by Haney coming out of his mid-return position to break up that would-be pass by Van Slyke. And, the wind affects everything, Nick. Obviously, it affects our body temperature more, which is very important. But on the field, it affects how you obviously, catch the ball, how you snap the ball, and obviously kick the ball. We're seeing it affect Bishop Neumann here on back-to-back drives.
It wasn't an atrocious snap by any means.
No.
It was towards the right shoulder pad of the punter, but it just was unable to be hauled in. Here's Alberts on the right side, a run wide right, and it's going to be a gain of about 3 yards to the 41-yard line of Bishop Neumann. And on that punt, it was number 18, Jack Van Slyke, who was also out there on the punt. He tried to throw it downfield, just unable to get his bearings.
Yeah, I don't think he was just trying to make something out of nothing. Obviously, we saw it last night work out pretty well. But when you think about it, ball handling in every sport, obviously baseball, basketball, football is so important, especially on inclement days with some weather.
Toss left side. Here's Alberts. He gets outside the numbers. Good block on the perimeter there by his receiver, number 21 in white for GICC. A great block on the edge. Braylon Wolf. He allowed Alberts to get to the edge and cut upfield for the first down.
Now we're starting to see the big-time players for these teams. When you think about Haney, Wolf, obviously you got Sack, and obviously Alberts. You're going to start hearing these names over and over and over, just like we heard Axman last night. These teams, when you got Van Slyke on the other side and Shutt, we're going to see what star power is going to win this game today.
Sack decides to just cut up field and drive forward for a few, maybe got back to the line of scrimmage, that is, up to the 24-yard line. And so that brings up 2nd down and 9 from the 23 of Bishop Neumann, with GICC leading 8-6 in the later stages of the first quarter.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a old school Nebraska play that I've seen in practice plenty of times with Brooke Behringer and Tommy Frazier, and just kind of roll it off of there. You got a fullback dive, quarterback keep, and then obviously extend it to the option. We'll see what happens. But something that just happened, Sack was compromised a little bit. He's out of the game. Now they have number 6 in. Let's see if they throw it a little bit more with Jackson Gangwish, quarterback. And
they run it with Jack Alberts up to the 20-yard line, gain of 4 or 3 rather on the 2nd down. That makes it 3rd down and 6.
Jackson Gangwish. I know that the names aren't, Gangwish name is not probably the norm, but is he any related to Jack Gangwish? The Jack Gangwish? The one that took a picture with a raccoon?
That is right. Was it 2010's player for Nebraska?
Yeah.
They
really
turn, hand it off. Jack Alberts goes right up the middle, runs into the buzzsaw, the Bishop Neumann defense. That was number 63, Charles Toline, the senior defensive lineman, in on the stop first for Bishop Neumann. And it is going to be a 4th down and 4 play coming up from the 18-yard line in GICC. They went for it on 4th and 10 from their own 30. Why wouldn't they here 4th and 4 from the opponent's 18?
Yeah, just Alberts is trying to impose his will, and now it's another big 4th down for GICC. and we'll see what happens.
Here's Gangwish back to pass, looking towards the end zone. It's well over the head of the intended receiver, Braylon Wolf, and in coverage for the Cavaliers defense was number 3, Hudson Fortick, and Fortick able to cause an interception, and Bishop Neumann takes over on their own 18-yard line, trailing 8-6.
Yeah, Gangwish right there. I think a little bit of miscommunication. Obviously, the timing was off with that pass, and that's what also you got to see, Nick. You're going for it for almost every fourth down, even when you have the wind at your back. Look at that, the goalpost, right? That'll confuse any kicker. You're kicking into the wind, obviously, in 23, 24-mile-an-hour wind. Doesn't set up well for a 3 points or an extra point attempt as well.
Bishop Neumann back out there on offense. They faked the handoff throw downfield. The quarterback's arm was hit as he threw. They were trying to get the pass to number 22, Alex Berry, unable to complete that pass from Bo Fuhan. And so Fuhan is incomplete on his first pass attempt, and now that brings up 2nd down and 10 from their own 18.
Yeah, Bishop Neumann was trying to strike back there with a pass to Berry, and a good pass rush there by Thomas Schneider from GICC to throw off the timing of that pass on that skinny post because he had a couple steps on the GICC defender.
Fuhan in the pistol, turns, hands it off. No, rather fakes it, now tosses it right side. There is just so much congestion. A great job penetrating by that GICC defense. The ball carrier was Henry Woida, the sophomore running back. He lost 2 yards.
Yeah, when they're trying to run that speed option, it does come with a lot of timing. And the more you extend it, you have to keep your mesh and keep your distance and have enough spacing. And then as they was getting towards the line of scrimmage, it got all discombobulated. But Dax Galatili did a really good job of defeating the wide receiver and then obviously coming up with a big tackle in the backfield.
3rd down and 12 from the 17-yard line of Bishop Neumann. The Cavaliers have the football against this GICC stout defense. Here past left side, it is hauled in well short of the line to gain. No, yes, it is. Complete across the 25-yard line. One of the GICC defenders signaled incomplete, but the official does say ball is down at the 26-yard line. It's going to still leave it 3rd down and 3.
Yeah, right now, look, neither team, it looks like Bishop Neumann might punt the ball. Backed up like this is big risk reward, and I'm not really sure the reason for it, but you're punting with the wind, right? So you would think you'd maybe get a good roll out there. But I think when you believe in your offense, they ran it on 3rd and 10, punted it. They're going to run it on, or not run it, but they're going to go for it on 4th and short.
Fuhan is under center. Sund is the deep back with Van Slyke at the fullback position. They have a tight end flexed right behind the right guard. They hand it to Van Slyke, their big bruising running back. Did he get to the 29-yard line? He's driven all the way back, all the way to the 15, but forward progress is going to signal him at the 28. Did they get enough? It does not appear so.
No, and it took them we can't hear all the way up here, but it seems like it took them a while for them to blow it dead.
Yeah.
And so even if you had the original forward progress, you probably lost it with the delay in blowing the ball dead. And so a big 4th down stop again. For GICC right here to put them right back into scoring position close to the red zone. Now, look, you're not going to be able to throw that much, and we have something really spectacular, Nick. We have a fan or a faculty member from Bishop Neumann that's hat flew off.
Yeah.
Had a nice little run.
Had to run all the way across the stadium.
Was it 53 yards in the third across the field?
All the way across the stadium. Now he's got to take the long way back, back to the Bishop Neumann sideline.
Yeah, a little gas, too.
Yeah, here's a jet toss left side, a speedy runner on the reception, and a great job rotating by that Bishop Neumann defense on the reception. It was number 5 for GICC in Graham Stava. He goes nowhere, no gain on the play, 2nd and 10.
Yeah, good job. Bishop Neumann's defense is flash flowing to try to stop Stava to get in the corner. So the theme right now for GICC, from the 20 to the 20, they're running a lot of outside stuff. When they get in the red zone or close to the end zone, they're going to try to run up the middle.
Here we go, 2nd down and 9 from the 26-yard line. They turn. Jack Alberts plants his foot, tries to cut outside. Great tackle made on the play by Van Slyke. Yeah. A great job by the linebacker to get in there, the leading tackler on this Neumann defense, and it makes it 3rd down and 9 yet again from the 26-yard line.
Really good job there by Van Slyke. Is seeing the hole opened up. He shot a shot, what they like to say in the defensive meetings, and then he made the tackle. Really good player here. And we've seen this, obviously, in every game that we've called together, and obviously the ones that I wasn't able to beat. These kids play both sides of the ball. There's no drop off in effort. They're physical and tough. It really makes up for really, really good football.
That is the end of the first quarter. Your score, GICC 8, Bishop Neumann 6 here in the Class C2 championship game. We'll step aside, come back in 60 seconds here on 93.7 The Ticket.
With UBT, you've got total control over your money. Like Doug, who runs his game day tailgate like a well-oiled machine.
I got burgers, brats, chicken, dogs, plus all the fixins. And with the UBT Go app, I can track my food spending from anywhere.
Pro move.
They don't call me Grill Sergeant for nothing.
No matter your goals, UBT helps you feel good about reaching them. Union Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
A business's phone is the lifeline to its customers and potential clients. That's why it's so important that you can take calls seamlessly from anywhere, whether you're on the road or in the office. Hamilton Business Technologies can help ensure your phone rings wherever you are. We can equip your headquarters and any of its locations with the right tools for smooth, professional call handling. As the official business IT partner of the Huskers, we know how to keep Nebraska businesses connected. Learn more at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Now back to high school football on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back into Memorial Stadium, the C2 state championship game here on 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Nick Sainert alongside Jay Foreman, Jake Bachhoven, and Harrison Arns back in our 93.7 The Ticket studios. 3rd down and 9 coming up for the Grand Island Central Catholic Crusaders offense here from the Bishop Neumann 26-yard line. GICC leads at 8-6 as we commence the second quarter. Shotgun formation as Sack is in the backfield. He steps back looking downfield, has a receiver wide open.
Wow.
What a leaping interception. How about that? Number 11 for the Bishop Neumann Cavaliers. It's Quinn Shute as he's able to dive full extension inside the 10 and rip that one out of the air for an INT.
Great play there by Mr. Shute. And also, look, Nick, GICC had the wind at its back, lofted it too much. He came out of center field and high-pointed the ball right when it looked like they were going to hit Mr. Haney for a touchdown. Really good job there, Mr. Shute, saving a touchdown because, look, they got stopped on 4th down. They had no momentum, got it right back. That's a big-time play right there.
1st and 10 now from inside their own 5-yard line for Bishop Neumann. From the 4, they come out in the I formation. Lund is the deep back. Lined up at the fullback position is Van Slyke. Here with a little bit of breathing room behind them. At the 4, they turn, hand it off. No, quarterback keeper rather with number 0, Fuhan. Fuhan able to get across the 5-yard line to the 8. It's a gain of 4 on 1st down to make it 2nd down and 6.
Yeah, Bishop Neumann is trying to just get out of their own end zone and get a little bit of breathing room. And so at the same time, Nick, they're trying to establish their run game. I think that's what they really want to do. And obviously they have a couple guys that when Van Slyke are home run hitters, but they line up in this too tight formation, old school pro formation, Nick, back when I was playing Pee Wee leagues, but they're trying to establish this line of scrimmage.
They motion a man from left to right as they are in I formation. Lund, the deep back. Van Slyke in the middle of the quarterback and Lund. They turn, fake the handoff. Fuhan just following his blockers on the right side of that line. He gets across the 10 to the 12, and it's going to be up 3rd down and 2 coming up early stages, second quarter with Bishop Neumann on offense, trailing by 2, 8-6.
One thing Grand Island Central Catholic is doing is they're keying on Van Slyke. They're sending 2 guys to him because they got burnt on that first touchdown for almost 15, 20 yards. And so there will be potentially some options and some openings on the outside for Bishop Neumann if they stay patient.
Owen Price, a big body on that defensive line, 6'3", 201 pounds. Also big body on that offensive line is number 65, William Mazur.
Yeah.
Here, as a pass, Fuhan looking left side. It's out of reach of the intended receiver. They were trying to get it to number 4, Kobe Miller. Unable to get it to him. Also in the area was Quinn Shutt.
Yeah.
And it's incomplete, so it's going to bring up 4th down and 2, and it appears that Bishop Neumann is going to punt this one away.
Yeah, right there. They were trying to throw against the wind, and they had, Shute had a step or two against the defender, but when that big gust gusted up there, almost blew it out of bounds, and obviously didn't even get it within the territory where the receiver could catch it. So right now you're punting into the wind. This is when you need a low line drive-in punt to get it on the ground to possibly get a mishap in the handling of the ball.
And Van Slyke, it is just a balloon as that one is going to be down. I mean, that is just atrocious, and not because of Van Slyke, but he booted it up in the air, and it just ballooned, and it came down, bounced at the 9-yard line. It is a negative punt of -4 yards.
And Nick, I was almost going to say Grand Island Central Catholic had to be careful there. Nobody got a Peter call. That ball came back so fast. If it hit a Grand Island Central Catholic player past the line of scrimmage, Bishop Neumann could have recovered it and got the ball.
I mean, I have never seen that.
Look, now they're going to maybe review it here, Nick. No,
media timeout.
Oh, media timeout.
But it is remarkable.
Look at that. Look at that on the replay. I mean,
it literally just ballooned.
Yeah.
It wasn't like it was bad contact by Slyke off his leg. It just ballooned up in the air and started to blow back towards the south end zone here at Memorial Stadium. The guy that recovered the punt and downed it for Bishop Neumann was the punter Van Slyke.
Yeah. You know what? It wouldn't have been funny, but just think if it would have bounced into the end zone and then
you would because if you touch it, you're down automatically down in it.
Yeah. You know what, Nick? As we're as we're moving towards Nebraska, Iowa, with Bradley, our punter, being able to put different spins and trajectories on it, and obviously he's been a really good punter and pickup for Nebraska.
Yeah,
that could bode well against a really good special teams unit in Iowa.
8-6 is your score. 10 minutes, 13 seconds to play in the second quarter. GICC takes over 1st and goal after the punt is recovered after a -4 yard punt. And here comes GICC. They toss it right side. Alberts gets stood up by Van Slyke. What a tackle on the edge. Just outside the numbers there on the near side. It is a loss of 3 yards back to the 12, and it's 2nd down and 12 coming up.
Yeah, when they're running that speed option, if we can see it on the replay, the quick pitch there allows Van Slyke to get there even faster. The more you extend it to the sidelines and keep the spacing, keep the mesh good, gives Alberts a chance to get up that sideline and cut it up possibly for a touchdown.
2nd down and goal from the 12-yard line. We're under 10 minutes to play in the second quarter. They fumble the football, and the quarterback, Graham Sack, is able to jump on that one. And so
he's back.
Bad becomes worse as they lose 3 yards on 1st down. They lose 2 on the fumbled snap on 2nd down to make it 3rd down and goal from now the 14-yard line.
Yeah, ball handling is going to be an issue, and obviously not only in this game, but obviously tonight when it gets colder. If this wind keeps up, it makes the ball slicker, it makes it drier, and so if you don't put emphasis on it in warm-ups, and obviously you get out here in the game, could catch you by surprise.
So GICC, before a snap on 3rd down and goal, is going to call a timeout. Their first of the half. We will step aside with them. 9:05 to go in the second quarter. It's 8-6. Grand Island Central Catholic with a 3rd and goal on the doorstep right on the other side of this 30-second break.
With UBT, you've got total control over your money. Like Doug, who runs his game day tailgate like a well-oiled machine.
I got burgers, brats, chicken, dogs, plus all the fixins. And with the UBT Go app, I can track my food spending from anywhere.
Pro move.
They don't call me Grill Sergeant for nothing.
No matter your goals, UBT helps you feel good about reaching them. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Welcome back to high school football on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Nick Sainer, Jay Foreman back with you from Memorial Stadium, a chilly Memorial Stadium where the real temperature is 46 degrees. The feels like, because of the 30-mile-an-hour winds that are blowing, it is just above freezing at 34 degrees. But out of the GICC timeout, it is 3rd down and goal from the 14-yard line. Shotgun snap, back to pass, a sack. Watch out from behind. He's taken down. What a sack from the other side, the left side of that line by number 11, Quinn Schutz, and he is taken down for the sack. It's a loss of 6 yards on 3rd down to make it 4th and goal from the 20.
Yeah, Quinn Schutz had a really good beat on that snap count, got off on the ball, and almost had a sack forced fumble there. He is having quite the game right now, early, and we're not even at halftime.
4th and goal from the 20, and GICC is going for it with 8.5 to go in the half. Sack rolls to the right, looking end zone. He's got nowhere to go. He's taken down out of bounds by Cyrus Schweed, and he will turn it over on downs after the sack, and Bishop Neumann after the -4-yard punt.
Yeah.
Nothing harm, no harm, no foul, and they will get the ball back.
You know, coming into the game, GICC was thought to have the best defense, but Bishop Neumann is letting you know they can play defense themselves. When you're backed up like that after a mishap on the punt, to get a turnover on downs is a big momentum shift towards their way. And so if I'm Grand Island Central Catholic, I got to be careful because Bishop Neumann is giving me plenty of opportunities to blow this game open. The more you let them hang around, the more pressure it puts on you to finish them off.
So now Bo Fuyan and the rest of the Bishop Neumann offense back out onto the field. Under center, Fuyan with 2 running backs behind him in the I formation. 1 wide out by himself at the top with the tight end right behind the right guard and right tackle. They turn, fake the handoff. Fuyan, nowhere to go. He gets taken down near and behind the line of scrimmage at the 21-yard line.
Yeah, they tried to the timing of that was it looked like a little bit of a ball handling issue, and Fuhan decided to keep it rather than risk the chance of a turnover and try to pitch it to the running back because the running back was outside the tackle box. A little bit of mishap on timing there on the fake fullback dive option to the right.
8-6 is your score back, and before we play 2nd down and 11, we have a Bishop Neumann timeout. So we'll see what head coach Joe Pavlik, who in his first year after coming over from Syracuse High School last offseason, has to say to his quarterback, Bo Fuyan, the 6'3", 180-pound senior. 7:58 to go, second quarter, 2nd down and 11 as we are in timeout for Bishop Neumann. One thing I'll say is later tonight, 7:15 p.m., kickoff for Class A action between Millard South and Papillion La Vista South.
Yeah, that's going to be a really good game. I think Papillion La Vista South obviously knows who they're going against, and obviously all these players know each other. This is Millard South is one of the better teams in Nebraska high school football history. Papillion La Vista South has a chance to go against all that. There is
nobody expecting Papio South to win. But I'll say that right off the bat.
No. But if they win, they'll be king for a day.
They'll turn, fake the handoff, fumble on the play on the toss, and Grand Island Central Catholic is right there to pick it up. Inside the red zone, GICC will take over 1st and 10. Fuyan was able to pitch it to the right side. It was an accurate pitch, but Jay, I know we've talked about it, but I don't know if we can really stress it enough. These guys are struggling not only with the temperature, but also with the wind.
Yeah, the wind, and it was a gust, even though you're going against it. It was another gust that worked against Bishop Neumann, and we talked about it on the special teams, but it affects you even obviously when you're running the option to the wide side. He pitched it, got up in the air, gusted, and it went out of the Bishop Neumann running back's hands and into Grand Island Central Catholic.
1st and 10 now for GICC from the 18-yard line. Sack, turns, hands it off. Alberts right up the middle, barrels his way through. If he stays on his feet, he's finding pay dirt. But instead, he falls down after a gain of 5, and it will be 2nd down and 5 from the 13-yard line of Bishop Neumann with GICC leading by 2.
Well, Nick, you see the theme there that we talked about. 20-20, more outside attack inside the red zone. It's Albert up the middle. They got a big run right there. Not a big run, but a 5-yard run on 1st down. Keeps them at or ahead to change.
Here's Alberts again, cutting inside. Nowhere to go. Great job by the interior defensive line of the Bishop Neumann Cavaliers, led by Shutt up front from that linebacker spot. Also in on the stop, number 72. That is Alex Goki for the Bishop Neumann defense. 3rd and 4 for GICC.
Yeah, this is a huge down right now for Grand Island Central Catholic because they have to show the ability to put this Bishop Neumann team away. Every time they've had a chance to take advantage of a opportunistic ball bounce, they have not been able to cash in.
Here's Alberts running wide right side, trying to get inside the 10-yard line. He's going to be shy of the 1st down line to gain by about 2 yards as he's tackled at the 10. Alberts just cannot get anything going. We saw 2 big runs in sequence, not only for Bishop Neumann and Van Slyke in their first possession of the game, but then GICC was able to answer with the help of some big Jack Alberts runs. Since then, both running backs been held in check.
Yeah, both these defenses are more than advertised. They're physical, they're fast, and they match up well with each other's offenses. So whoever takes advantage of these opportunities that each offense is giving them is probably going to win this game.
Jackson Gangwish in at quarterback. He keeps it, nowhere to go on 4th and 2. How about number 14 for Bishop Neumann? That is Caden Weiss in on the stop initially for the Cavaliers defense, and Bishop Neumann gets the ball right back on the turnover on downs.
Right now, when you look at it, Nick, obviously Grand Island Central Catholic has a 2-point lead, 8-6. But watching the game, I think Bishop Neumann has been outplaying them. And so the more that Bishop Neumann is getting the confidence of stopping them when their back is against the wall will allow their offense to play freely. And look for them with about 6 minutes left to take a shot here within the next 2 or 3 plays.
6:05 to play, second quarter, 8-6 your score. They turn, hand it off. Here's a big run by Lund on the left side. He sheds one tackle, trying to stiff arm another defender. He's thrown out of bounds, and once he gets past the 35 to the 37-yard line.
Yeah, good run there. Look, inside power, G power as we like to call it. Sometimes when you're on those goal line and tight formation, short yardage, you can get an explosive run that we've seen last night. Big run to get them out of backed up territory. This is what I'm talking about. Grand Island Central Catholic has had, 3 opportunities inside their own red zone, haven't came away with any points. Bishop Neumann now is potentially on the attack going into halftime now. Now, let's not forget, they get the ball coming out of halftime. So as much as Grand Island Central Catholic hasn't taken advantage of the opportunities, Bishop Neumann potentially could take advantage of an opportunity that that Grand Island Central Catholic didn't take advantage of.
I formation, Fuyan hands it off. Lund left side gets a carry again as he gets across the 40-yard line to the 43. And Bishop Neumann getting a little bit of progress here offensively. It'll be 2nd down and 4.
Yeah, Bishop Neumann went right back to the well, right? A little bit of a power to the short side of the field. They're making some hay. They got a big run, came back and see if they can get another one. Let's see if they save that type of running concept for later in the game if they get a chance to close it out.
So once again, 2nd down and 4, 5 minutes and 24 seconds to play in the first half. It's 8-6 GICC on top of Bishop Neumann. Shotgun set, 1 running back each side. Van Slyke to the left of Fuyan, while to the right is Lund. They turn, fake the handoff as Fuyan's going to have to keep it himself. Nowhere to go. He tried to pitch it. Oh, no. Running. The big fella's running the other way for GICC. And as soon as Bishop Neumann had some momentum, they give it right back to the GICC Crusaders.
Yeah, there's nothing like seeing an old big man catch it off the bounce and try to get a touchdown there. But Fuyan panicked a little bit. He did a really good job in the series before, not panicking and just eating it right there where he had a chance to do the same thing, and he decided to pitch it at the very last second, and it wasn't the smartest decision. Turnover. I think, was he trying to pass it?
I think he was trying to pass it to his running back. His running back was going to be covered anyway, Van Slyke, but nonetheless, it is a fumble. His arm was not going forward if it was. Now, I'd be shocked if they do review this, but yet as it stands, GICC stands 1st and 10 at the Bishop Neumann 17-yard line. Now, the head referee is about to get on the mic. We'll see what the conversation is here in just a moment. Okay, so it was basically replay assist. Replay assist up in the booth to our right has determined it's an incomplete pass.
And that looked pretty clear. The arm was going forward before he let go of it. Big turn of events there. Now it's 3rd and manageable right now for Bishop Neumann. You got to recalibrate now, try to get that first down because you just almost had a catastrophic turnover before halftime.
You got to feel bad for Brandon Cloud, the big defensive tackle, 6'1", 222, who exerted quite a bit of energy running down that football and football field, as you will, on the fumble return. But it was an incomplete pass after replay assist, and it's going to be 3rd down and 4 for Bishop Neumann, trailing by 2 with 5:02 remaining in the second quarter. Pistol formation with Lund behind the quarterback. Now the motion receiver from left to right. He hands it off. Lund trying to get some traction. Nowhere to go. It's going to be 4th down and 4. And I would imagine that on that Bishop Neumann sideline, head coach Joe Pavlik is going to go ahead and keep his offense on the field.
Yeah, you went for it when you were on 4th and short and backed up in your own red zone, and now you're trying to score again or get a quick score before halftime. And with the inability to punt the ball with the 30-mile-an-hour wind coming right at you, your best bet is to go for it. Because look, Grand Island Central Catholic has not shown the ability to score. Consistently, obviously having the ball more times in this first half and coming away with only 8 points.
Fuyan in the shotgun. He turns, and we have a whistle and a timeout charged to Bishop Neumann here with 4:13 to go in the second quarter.
Nick,
Joe Pavlik wants to talk things over. Let's step aside. We can talk about it when we come back here in the late stages of the second quarter on 93.7 The Ticket.
At Doane University, we build leaders, and that means your success and achievements come first. Now is the time to get a glimpse into living and learning at Doane University through a personalized in-person or virtual visit. We know once you experience Doane, you'll see why it's a place where you can achieve your goals and shape your future. Schedule your personal campus visit today at doane.edu/visit.
Welcome back to high school football on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back into Memorial Stadium. Nick Sainer alongside Jay Foreman ahead of a 4th down and 4 for the Bishop Neumann Cavaliers offense. Ball is on their 43. They got to get to their own 47. Shotgun set. Fuyan turns. He hands it off. There goes Van Slyke, the big-bodied running back, trying to drive forward. The near sideline official says he's a yard shy. The far sideline official might have given it to him. We're going to have an eyeball from the head referee. This is my favorite part. Just bring the chains out, measure it officially.
Turnover on down.
Turnover on downs. I love that's one of my
Yeah.
favorite things in high school football is they're so hesitant to
bring
pull
out
the
the
chains.
But, Nick, do you think
It's so funny. They're just like, let me just lean over and take a peek.
Do you think in the wind, do they just squint with one eye?
That's
and
what I'm
look?
saying.
Yeah.
From 25, you're in the middle of the end at midfield. You're looking over and going, okay, where are we feeling here? And it's a turnover on
I wish
downs.
you were more like that more when you're trying to give me some putts. Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah.
I give you gimmies.
Doubtful.
I just know
Well,
you'd be a better putter.
That is true.
All right, turnover on downs. GICC takes over 1st and 10 at the Bishop Neumann 46-yard line. Back to pass, looking, throwing downfield, has a receiver. He's got to come back for it, and it's very underthrown, intended for number 5 in white. That was for Graham Stava.
Yeah.
And Sack underthrew that ball with the wind behind him, and it's going to be incomplete.
Yeah, and sometimes you can talk yourself into throwing the ball too high with too much trajectory, even if you have the wind at your back. You're trying to almost loft it and think the wind's going to take it there. You need to step in, and fire that bad boy down there. Stava had 2 or 3 steps on the Bishop Neumann defender.
2nd down and 10 from the 46-yard line of Neumann here. 2nd down and 10, 4:01 to play in the first half. 8-6 GICC. They turn, hand it off. Here's Jack Albert's right side. Nowhere to go. He's tackled right at the line of scrimmage. Maybe got a half a yard. Nice tackle by the leading tackler for the Cavaliers defense, Jack Van Slyke. And it's going to bring up 3rd down and 9.
Yeah, if I'm Bishop Neumann now, and I'm thinking about when I'm going to spend this timeout if I stop him on 3rd down, because we could get the ball back maybe with a minute or two. Once again, like I mentioned a couple series before, GICC has not shown the ability to move the ball at all consistently. Obviously, Alberts got going in the first quarter, which led to a score. But ever since then, even when they got the ball in Bishop Newman's backed up or red zone or in the with easy scoring opportunities, they haven't been able to even get a 1st down. And so if I'm Bishop Neumann, I like the pace of this game. If I'm a coach, I'm going into halftime saying we are controlling this game. Now we got to get going offensively and really get out of our own way when you think about it, right? We got to settle our quarterback down. We like our power play to the weak side. They had when he called the timeout when we went to station identification, that power back to actually the wide side of the field would have hit his head on the goalpost of touchdown. So you got to make sure that you keep your notes going and make your sneaky adjustments come out at halftime and try to win the state championship.
It's kind of comical because here at Memorial Stadium, all the pylons, they've intentionally kept them folded over. They're not even standing them up anymore.
Yeah.
As the wind is just gusting down there on the field. But out of the GICC timeout, it is going to be 3rd down and 9 from the 45-yard line of Bishop Neumann.
Yeah, so, Bishop Neumann is thinking. They're thinking, you know what? We just can't give up a big play. And GICC is trying to get Stava here down at the bottom of the field here, outside the numbers, 1-on-1 and potentially on a go route.
They'll turn, run it. Here is Gangwish, left side, tosses it, fumble on the play. That could have been a forward pass, but either way, it's recovered by Bishop Neumann. They're going to signal a fumble, and I believe this is going to be GICC football.
Yeah.
We have yet to see a ruling. Did GICC recover it? They did.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that was 4th down, though, right?
It was third.
Oh, third. No.
Yeah, it was 3rd and 9. Now they signal a fumble.
Yeah.
Man, a delayed. It was 3rd and 9, and they now recovered the fumble. So it's officially a fumble. Jack Alberts with his second fumble. I was going to say there's no way that GICC recovered that ball.
Yeah.
There was only red jerseys in the area, but there was no decisiveness from the officials pointing which way it was going.
Yeah, I don't know if that was a fumble. That looked like a forward pass, right?
Yeah.
And so good job there by GICC coaching staff of making the referee aware. Yeah.
That referee sounds cold.
Yes, he's ready to get
His voice was cracking a little bit.
He's ready.
Now the official play, or the play, is under official review, so they're going to have a conversation about this fumble. That's why I was kind of thrown off by the whole thing, just because there was no signal. There was no the play happened towards the near sideline, or the far sideline rather, and it was clearly, if it's a fumble, it was clearly a fumble. It's not like Jack Alberts was close to being down by contact, and it was a clear recovery for Bishop Neumann. But, I mean, once again, I don't think that this was a backwards pass.
Yeah, it was a forward pass. It was actually, if I'm grading the option, was not very good mesh point in.
Well, so he tosses it at the 47, and it bounces at the 48. So it might have been a backwards.
No. Oh, that's tough. Reminds me of the Music City Miracle, Nick.
I wasn't going to bring that up.
Yeah, you were. I brought it up before you
wasn't.
did, so I didn't want everybody to let you have your joy.
I wasn't going to bring it up. I mean, this is going to be a tough call either way. I mean, I understand the indecisiveness maybe from the officials, but it happened right in front of the far sideline official, who should be lining himself up with essentially the line of scrimmage. But ultimately, it was a clear recovery by Bishop Neumann. It was almost interesting because it started to really start, the trajectory of the ball was backwards. But then honestly, Jay, I think the wind started to kind of push it and gust it forward a little bit, and that caused it to be out of reach for Jack Alberts, the running back.
Yeah, and it was probably a gust of wind because they have the wind at their back, and so maybe he thought he was pitching it behind him and it went forward. This is a big call because, obviously it's a turnover on another turnover for GICC, but more importantly, it gives, by my estimation, Bishop Neumann, if they didn't use a timeout, another 45 seconds on the play clock to try to score before halftime. So this is a huge call, whether they overturn it or keep it the same.
So the officials are still under the tent here as they're having the conversation with the folks right next to us. There's unfortunately blinds covering it, so we can't see it. But here's the official word. The play stands as called, so it's going to be a fumble, and Bishop Neumann will get the football back. 1st and 10 at their own 44. 3 minutes and 14 seconds to play in the first half. It's 8-6, Grand Island Central Catholic over Bishop Neumann, but Bishop Neumann just got the football back after a fumble.
Yeah, both teams struggling to get it in the end zone, and so we'll see if Bishop Neumann can get some free points here and then come out of halftime humming.
Here's Landon Sund. Up the middle he goes, just outside the hash marks in between the numbers, and is able to get a nice gain of about 7 yards up to the 50-yard line. Call it a gain of 6, rather. It'll be 2nd and 4, under 3 minutes to go.
Yeah, Coach Pavlik must have heard us, talking about that play up there, because that was the play they had dialed up before they called a timeout before the 4th down. We got 6 yards, but potentially could be a house call if they run it later.
2:45 to play, second quarter here. Ball at the midfield mark at the 50-yard line. They turn Sund with the football on the carry. It's going to be a gain of 1 yard to the 49 of GICC, and it's going to be 3rd down and 3 coming up for Bishop Neumann's offense with 2:28 to play in the second quarter. And this is the strength of the GICC program. a defense that did not allow an offensive touchdown the first 6 weeks of the season. Can they continue to bow up and hopefully bail out their offense after they committed another turnover?
Bishop Neumann obviously has been in 4-down territory since the start of the game, but they're trying to eat up the clock just in case they have a turnover and downs. GICC can't make a realistic attempt for it.
And here on the handoff, Sun nowhere to go. Off the handoff from Fuyon, Landon Sun driven back. He's taken down 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage. And with 1:53 and counting as the clock is still rolling, because GICC only has 1 timeout remaining, Bishop Neumann slow to send their offense on the field or slow to send their punter on the field, whichever decision Joe Pavlik, the head coach for Bishop Neumann, decides to go with. They're going to bring Van Slyke onto the field. He's their punter, as it looks like they're going to keep the offense on the field on 4th down and 5. Pavlik nears the official on the far sideline in case he wants to signal timeout. They do not. They turn, hand it off. Van Slyke with the carry. He's going to be about 2 yards shy of the first down, which means turnover on downs yet again. GICC continues to stand strong. Both of these defenses continue to stand strong, and GICC takes over 1st and 10 at their own 48.
Yeah, you got a minute and 16 seconds left to try to extend your lead here for if you're GICC. If I'm Bishop Neumann, it's more of the same. We feel like we have a little bit of house money because we are starting the second half with the ball, but they can't fall asleep now. The GICC has the wind, at its back, and so look for a couple deep passes in these first 2 plays to try to get chunk yards so they can get back to the run game in the red zone with Alberts.
Option play to the right side. They toss it. Here's Alberts cutting inside, just outside the numbers. A flag flies in, and they toss the flag, and it was supposed to land at their own 49-yard line on the north side of the 50. It flew all the way to the 44-yard line of Bishop Neumann, 7 yards past where it was supposed to land.
That option play, as it got wider towards the sideline, and then they kept the mesh good. That's where you're seeing Alberts obviously being able to gain 6-7 yards on that play before the penalty. But the aggressiveness of Bishop Neumann's defense trying to get to that sideline and get penetration caused the holding penalty to go against GICC.
So it's holding on Grand Island Central Catholic. GICC will move back 10 yards from the previous spot, or the spot of the foul rather, which will make it 1st down and 18 here as we near halftime. A quick moving first half. I mean, quickest that we've had this entire state championship slate, just because this is the fewest points we've had the entire state championship slate. Only 14 points combined between the 2 teams here. 8-6 GICC leads. They have the football. 1st and 18 from their own 40-yard line. Shotgun formation. They turn, and they're going to run the option. Here's Gangwish, tosses it left side. Alberts, he fumbles the football again, unable to haul it in, but thankfully for GICC, Gangwish able to jump on it, and it's going to be 3rd down and even longer. They're going to have to snap it one more time before we reach the halftime break, but I would imagine that they'll be pretty conservative here on this 2nd down and 20.
Yeah, Gangwish came in, and he's had a couple issues with ball handling as far as running the option. Obviously, Sack is probably getting more of the first team reps. And so they have to really go in and try to find out what Gangwish can do as far as ball handling and running the option, whether it's to the right or left side. Because I'm going to tell you, if you're a right-handed player, Nick, and you're running an option to the left, you have to pitch it with your left hand. It's not a natural movement.
Here's a handoff to Alberts on 2nd and long. He cuts up field, sheds a couple of tacklers. Rather, that was number 9. That is Thomas Schneider on the carry. But that will signal the end of the first half. With your score, Grand Island Central Catholic 8, Bishop Neumann 6 here at halftime of the C2 State Championship game. We will send it back to our 93.7 The Ticket studios as they will take you through the halftime show here at the break of the C2 State title matchup between GICC and Bishop Neumann on 93.7 The Ticket.
Ready to score big with your projects? Look no further than Edward Stone, the MVP of natural stone for over 2 decades. Edward Stone is cranking out over 30,000 square feet every week and offers a winning lineup of over 70 quality natural veneer stone selections. Their unbeatable variety and experienced team will ensure your project is a success, whether it's a home renovation or a commercial build. And hey, they're not just about stone. They've got an all-star lineup of fireplaces, cast stone, brick, and much more. Swing by one of their locations in Lincoln or Omaha today and experience the Edward Stone difference, your reliable choice for over 20 years.
At Jimmy John's, we don't make sandwiches. We make the sandwich of sandwiches. We use fresh veggies because we don't hate salads. We just feel bad for them. We make our sandwiches exactly how you want because you're the one who's eating it. And we bake bread all day, every day because stale bread isn't bread. It's croutons. Sandwich history is written by the victors. Good thing we have legible handwriting. Jimmy John's, the sandwich of sandwiches. Order pickup or delivery on the app.
With UBT, you've got total control over your money. Like Doug, who runs his game day tailgate like a well-oiled machine.
I got burgers, brats, chicken, dogs, plus all the fixins. And with the UBT Go app, I can track my food spending from anywhere.
Pro move.
They don't call me Grill Sergeant for nothing.
No matter your goals, UBT helps you feel good about reaching them. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Your possibilities are endless at Doane University. Rooted in liberal arts, you can choose from undergraduate and graduate programs, all delivering real-world experience. At Doane University, we take a personal approach to education, giving you the guidance you need to own your future. It's not just our long history of innovative learning, it's the feeling of being surrounded by possibilities that makes us different. Now is your time. Apply today at doane.edu/apply.
If you're a homeowner or a business owner, you have a lot of projects, and no one has an unlimited budget or time. Sunbelt Rentals makes all jobs less stressful with no need to purchase large equipment or hire a crew. You can do it yourself with rentals and everything from aerators and power rakes for spring yard work to stump grinders, concrete mixers, tile saws, and more. Check out their inventory in Lincoln, north of Cornhusker Highway on 56th Street, or online at sunbeltrentals.com.
It is halftime down at Memorial Stadium for a chance for me to do some yapping here in studio for the halftime report on 93.7 The Ticket. You are listening to Nebraska High School Football Championships here, Class C2 on 93.7 The Ticket. At the break, Grand Island Central Catholic leads it 8-6 over Bishop Neumann. We'll send it back out to Nick Sainert and Jay Foreman here in about 10 minutes when they get ready for the second half kickoff in that game. Another reminder, there is one state championship still left to go after this one concludes, and it is Class A in the nightcap. Will be Millard South and Papillion La Vista South once again for all the marbles in Class A this year. So that means we've got 4 champions already crowned in Nebraska football this year. We did get 3 of them done yesterday, 1 this morning, and now, of course, Class C2 in action. If you missed it, all these games have been on 93.7 The Ticket. We're proud to bring them to you with the help of Sunbelt Rentals, Doane University, Played Against Sports, Hamilton Telecommunications, NDOT Highway Safety Office, Union Bank and Trust, Nebraska Army National Guard, Jimmy John's, and Edward Stone. Yesterday, to kick things off in Class D1, Sandy Creek took home the crown with a 66-26 victory over Crofton. In Class D2 in the afternoon game, why not take home the championship with a 71-60 victory over St. Mary's? Yes, that's football, not a basketball score there. Class B in the nightcap, Waverly, the Vikings win 42-27 over Gretna East to finish up on top of Class B. Earlier today in Class C1 action in the morning, Wahoo beat Sydney 20-6. Once again, we are at the break here in the Class C2 championship game. GICC, Grand Island Central Catholic, with an 8-6 lead over Bishop Neumann. Close. Of course, that's a close score, so anything can happen here in the second half. Definitely wind picking up a little bit, chilly outside, so the weather factoring in. Reports the weather's going to factor in some of your favorite games this weekend, too, for college football. Snow expected for Ohio State and Michigan, as well as some flurries, potential snow for Nebraska and Iowa on Black Friday. Just a reminder, that game 11 o'clock on CBS. And this rivalry has been one way, unfortunately, for the last several years for Nebraska. Iowa's actually 9-1 in their last 10 games against Nebraska, which is an amazing stat. You would have never thought you would hear those words when Nebraska joined the Big Ten, but here we are. Part of that, too, Nebraska 1-6 versus Iowa since joining the Big Ten. Their only victory against the Hawkeyes was 2011 in Lincoln. It's been that long of a streak for Nebraska to defeat Iowa. Last 7 meetings, though, have been decided by one possession, so expect a close game on Friday. And a few of these games, what is it, 3 of them, 4 of them? I think 4 of them now have ended on Iowa game-winning field goals. So hopefully that is not the case. Once again, Iowa, of course, very good in the trenches as a program all of these years, but this year again and on special teams. So Nebraska pretty good at special teams themselves. So we'll see if that could maybe help swing the balance in the Huskers' direction. Coach Mike Eckler was nominated today for the Broyles Award, which goes to the top assistant coach in college football. We will see. He is Nebraska's selection. Every team makes their selection. So we will see if he can kind of make it down into the 15 finalists. Just another note from Husker football, if you haven't heard it as of yet, the Doak Walker Award finalists, 3 finalists have been announced. Emmett Johnson left off that list, unfortunately. So Emmett, I can only imagine he's 4th or 5th in the discussion. Can't be too far behind that. Unfortunately, not going to bring home the Doak Walker Award. Ahmad Hardy from Missouri, Jeremiah Love from Notre Dame, and Kawan Lacey, a one-time Nebraska commit, who is now at Ole Miss, all were named finalists. Some of the things to kind of look out for here this weekend for Nebraska sports. Nebraska volleyball will take on Penn State at 5:30 on Friday and then cap off the regular season with a late one, 8 o'clock against Ohio State on Saturday. So stay tuned for 93.7 The Ticket for the post-game reports for that. Of course, going back to Nebraska football, we'll have the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show kicking off, I believe, at 8. Might bleed over a little bit from early break, but in the morning tomorrow, or excuse me, Friday morning, when you're nice and full from your Thanksgiving holiday, maybe you'll be able to snack on some leftovers and listen to us break down Nebraska and Iowa. We'll also have post-game shows for that as well. Again, programming note, normal programming for tomorrow as we kind of move from state championships into the Thanksgiving festivities. Of course, we'll have Thanksgiving off, and then again, we'll be getting things going bright and early for early break on Friday, leading us into our pregame show. Both men's and women's basketball in action this evening. Nebraska men will take on Winthrop tonight from Pinnacle Bank Arena at 7:30. That can be seen on BTN if you can't make it down to PBA. The Eagles are 3-3, but they took Arkansas to the brink. Arkansas ranked 22nd as of right now. Razorbacks were only able to beat Winthrop by 1. So that could be an interesting test for Nebraska. Of course, off to a 6-0 start. Are in the others receiving votes category in the AP and coaches poll. So a few more wins that they could rattle off, and they might be a ranked team. It would join 6 teams that are already ranked in the Big Ten, led by number 1 Purdue. The conference is stacked. 12 teams total are either ranked or receiving votes. That's 2/3 of the league. So not going to be an easy out in the Big Ten more often than not. Nebraska women beat Purdue Fort Wayne 80-57 yesterday. Britt Prince led the way with 18 points, 40 points off the bench for Nebraska women's basketball. That is certainly a recipe for success. They are undefeated and are off to a hot start. They've got another game here, and in fact, a championship game, if you will, Emerald Coast Classic Championship, which is why they're down in Florida at 7:30 tonight against 5-1 Virginia. So that is some of the rundown on what you'll see for Nebraska sports here in the next couple of days. Got some college basketball scores to update you on while we're here because it is Feast Week. There is some games going on, both in top 25 and in Big Ten action, as well as we always celebrate a little bit when Creighton loses, right? So we can get to that in a second. North Carolina State up 77-70 on Boise State. The Wolfpack, ranked number 23 in the nation, are playing in the Maui Invitational and look like they're going to get the win there. In the first half, St. John's up 21-11 over Baylor. St. John's ranked number 14 right now. Players Era Festival is what they're playing in. A couple of games to look out for this evening. Number 3, Houston, and number 17, Tennessee will play in Las Vegas in the Players Era Festival. Indiana, number 25, will take on Kansas State. Of course, Kansas State's lone loss on the year coming to Nebraska. Indiana, a team Nebraska will see in the future. Number 7, Michigan will take on number 21, Auburn at the Players Era Festival, 7:30 tonight on TNT. Maryland from the Big Ten will also be playing in the Players Era Festival. We'll look to upend number 12, undefeated Gonzaga at 8:30 on True TV. Another Big Ten team in action tonight, in the 18-ranked UCLA against old Pac-12 competition Cal, matchup of 5-1 teams. That will be on ESPN at 9 o'clock tonight. Catching up from some scores earlier in the day, Michigan State beat East Carolina 89-56. And as I promised earlier, we can get to the Creighton loss here. Iowa State improves to 6-0. Number 15, Cyclones defeat the Creighton Blue Jays at the Players Era Festival 78-60. Creighton now falls to 3-3 on the year. I believe they've got another game with Nichols for out in the Players Era tournament as well. So that's a look at that. Also, quick update on a first movement here. Well, I should say completely first, as we saw James Franklin take the Virginia Tech job. But we're seeing some movement here as the opening has been filled. Reportedly, Oklahoma State has agreement to hire Eric Morris from North Texas. They're going to go ahead and allow him to finish out the season, including the playoffs, if North Texas is elected to that. But Oklahoma State deciding on Eric Morris as their top target, and an agreement is in place now, according to some sources out there. So we will see. Interesting movement for Oklahoma State. Has not had anybody but Mike Gundy, of course, involved as the head coach there for the better part of 2 decades. We'll see what the Cowboys look like with Eric Morris in charge. But that'll wrap it up for the halftime show. We'll send it back out to Nick Sainert and Jay Foreman for the second half. Once again, right now in the Class C2 championship game, GICC with an 8-6 lead over Bishop Neumann. Let's get to the second half. We'll do that here after this break on 93.7 The Ticket.
There's only one place this holiday season to shop for the sports fan in your life and get cash back for slightly used sports items you don't need anymore. Play It Again Sports. Check out their selection of new and used items, including home fitness equipment like treadmills, exercise bikes, and ellipticals, and get your lift on with 3 weights, benches, and racks to add to your home gym. And don't forget, if you have anything slightly used to trade in, they'll give you instant cash. Holiday shopping starts and ends at Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription, or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
With UBT, you've got total control over your money. Like Doug, who runs his game day tailgate like a well-oiled machine.
I got burgers, brats, chicken, dogs, plus all the fixins. And with the UBT Go app, I can track my food spending from anywhere.
Pro move.
They don't call me Grill Sergeant for nothing.
No matter your goals, UBT helps you feel good about reaching them. Union Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
A business's phone is the lifeline to its customers and potential clients. That's why it's so important that you can take calls seamlessly from anywhere, whether you're on the road or in the office. Hamilton Business Technologies can help ensure your phone rings wherever you are. We can equip your headquarters and any of its locations with the right tools for smooth, professional call handling. As the official business IT partner of the Huskers, we know how to keep Nebraska businesses connected. Learn more at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
At Jimmy John's, we don't make sandwiches. We make the sandwich of sandwiches. We use fresh veggies because we don't hate salads. We just feel bad for them. We make our sandwiches exactly how you want because you're the one who's eating it. And we bake bread all day, every day because stale bread isn't bread. It's croutons. Sandwich history is written by the victors. Good thing we have legible handwriting. Jimmy John's, the sandwich of sandwiches. Order pickup or delivery on the app.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Welcome back to high school football on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back into Memorial Stadium as we are getting ready, just a couple of minutes away from the start of the second half between GICC, Grand Island Central Catholic, and the Bishop Neumann Cavaliers. We closed the window during the break because it is blustery up here. I mean, it's just the wind is more annoying than anything, Jay. I don't know if I told this on air yet. Yesterday morning when I was here, you open the window and the press box next to me that where the assistant coaches for one of the teams sit, there was papers that flew out of the window up here. Once those blow out, you have no chance at getting them back. And so they, continue to flow and wave throughout the air as they trickle down to the actual playing surface, but there's just no way to track them. So that is one thing that I do not want to have happen, as the books and the papers that we have up here are pretty important to the broadcast. So nonetheless, with a little under 2 minutes to go until we start the third quarter play, we'll open the window once play resumes. But, Jay, just overall, it's an 8-6 ball game, GICC. I think really one of the big storylines can be both of these teams have had opportunities to either get back in front or to extend their lead if you're Grand Island Central Catholic in this one. And give credit to the defenses because they've been able to bow up and stay strong for the bulk of the second half.
Yeah, 2-point game, and obviously came in with GICC, obviously getting all the credit with the defensively, but Bishop Neumann has done a really good job of answering that call, especially probably actually playing a little bit better defensively when you think about it. Numerous times being backed up, negative territory, turnover on downs and turnovers. They've been able to answer the bell. So now it comes down to GICC went into halftime and said, listen, we haven't done anything besides the first drive or second drive, actually, offensively. Let's get it going and try to score some points. We do have a 2-point lead, so we actually are playing good defense, but we can't keep giving Bishop Neumann time after time or not taking advantage of the numerous opportunities that Bishop Neumann is just literally laid in our lap, whether it's a field goal attempt or 2 or 3 more touchdowns. So both of these teams are well within reach of the state title, and whoever can get something going offensively, whether that's through the air at explosive play, or we saw with Van Slyke on the first carry on a little bit of fullback belly roll dive for a 19, 20-yard touchdown. You got to get something going. If I had to guess, Bishop Neumann has shown more life late in the second quarter versus GICC.
And there's the window. Maybe you can hear it open behind us. But here we are, ready to start the second half of play. GICC will kick it off to Bishop Neumann to start quarter number 3 here from Memorial Stadium. Nick Sander, Jay Foreman alongside as once again, Jake Bachhoven back in our 93.7 The Ticket Studios. Thanks to Bach for taking us through the halftime show. 8-6 your score. And we are underway in the third quarter of action. This kickoff going to sail well into the end zone for the touchback. And we will see 1st and 10 for Bo Fuyan and the rest of the Bishop Neumann offense here, down by 2.
Yeah, good kick there. They obviously give you some confidence there when you got about a 30, 40-mile-an-hour wind at your back to kick it through the end zone. Now GICC coming out here on defense, trying to reestablish themselves, trying to get the ball back for this offense that's been stuck in the mud for much of the first half.
So once again, 1st and 10 for Bishop Neumann from their own 20-yard line. Fuyan under center in the I formation that we've seen more times than not here this afternoon. Van Slyke is lined up as the fullback. Samuel Lund is the deep back. They turn, hand it off to Van Slyke. Van Slyke barrels his way forward for 5 yards. That's something that maybe we saw them get away from later in the first half, Jay, where they came out, their one touchdown came on a 30-yard run on something similar to Van Slyke. They started to use Lund more in the second quarter. Not that he had a bad second quarter by any means. In the game so far, Lund, 8 carries, 44 yards, but Van Slyke just runs a little differently.
Yeah, he's their physical back running up the middle, and also Grand Island started to key on him after that big run and they went away from him. Maybe they're trying to reestablish him to open up Lund later in the game.
And right on cue, they hand it off once again to Van Slyke. He gets 9 yards forward for a first down up to the 34-yard line. It's going to be 1st and 10, Bishop Neumann.
Yeah, look, the adjustment there for Bishop Neumann at halftime is we're going to go back to our bread and butter, what worked for us, and then we're going to try to get to Lund a little bit later, 2 fullback dives, and they changed up their blocking scheme. Nick, they didn't go any down and around and pull anybody on that fullback dive right there. They're just going straight zone blocking with Big Van Slyke trying to create his own path.
Shotgun set, quarterback keeper with Van Slyke running with them. Fuyan has some open area. He sheds one tackler in enemy territory and is finally taken down at the 40-yard line of GICC. And that is going to be another first down there for Bishop Neumann.
Yeah, right there. Another adjustment that they made here, right? They sent Lund up the middle, run a fullback dive, knowing that being 150 pounds, that's not going to probably be their option. Then they ran Van Slyke on a bubble option, and Lund was able to keep it for a big gain there. Now, look, the adjustments there for Bishop Neumann has paid off tenfold in these first 3 plays.
So here we go, 1st and 10 from the 39-yard line of GICC. They turn, handed off Van Slyke right up the gut. Yeah. He was going to be stopped dead to rights right at the line of scrimmage, but that bigger body of Van Slyke just continued to truck forward, and he gets up to the 35.
Yeah, the biggest adjustments that I see from up here, Nick, is they're double teaming the big nose from Grand Island Central Catholic and just running Van Slyke right behind him. And then when they feel that mesh and Van Slyke hit the 2 offensive linemen, he comes off on the linebacker, and they're just pushing him forward. It's almost like a tush push, and they're just using their brute force and power of those guards and tackles that they have.
6'2", 280-pound Will Mazer is that nose tackle Jay's talking about. Here's Van Slyke right up the middle, nowhere to go for the ball carrier. And that'll be no gain on 2nd down to make it 3rd down and about 6.5 from the 36-yard line.
Right. Probably went back to the well a little bit too much as we look on the replay. The big nose guard stopped those 2 offensive linemen, try to get any movement, allowed the linebackers to flow over top for a tackle for no gain.
3rd down and 7 officially from the 36-yard line. Shotgun set. Lund to the right of Fuyan. Van Slyke to his left. He turns to his left, keeps the football on the fake handoff. There goes Fuyan. Almost had a house call, but a nice tackle made on the play there by Wolf of Grand Island Central Catholic to just keep it to a first down carry, and that's going to move the chains for Bishop Neumann.
Now you're seeing that everything that's looking that they're doing offensively is off the Van Slyke fullback dive. Now they just went a little fake fullback dive, a quarterback off the side, and then they had the option there with Lund just in case he got hit too early.
Same formation, Lund to Fuyan's right, Van Slyke to his left. They turn, fake the handoff. Fuyan has to retreat and keep it and go down without a fight. It's going to be a loss of a couple. And back at the 28-yard line or so goes Fuyan. A nice job by number 11. That's Jack Alberts defensively making the stop initially for GICC to make it 2nd and 11.
That play right there was one play like they ran in the first half where they ran a little bit of a reverse out there by Fuyan and tried to pull a lineman. That has not worked. If they get back to that zone blocking, straight ahead blocking, I think Bishop Neumann will find some good results at the end of the day.
I formation, they turn, hand it off on the fullback dive. There goes Van Slyke, still on his feet inside the 15, inside the 10, dragging a defender as he's sliding against the turf. And finally, Van Slyke is taken down inside the 10 at the 9.
Yeah, right there is they went right back to what they made adjustment at halftime, just a straight-up zone blocking, mesh blocking, double team, and let Van Slyke find the hole off the tackle, tight end hole right there for a first down and almost a touchdown. So you're seeing the blocking here, Nick. Look, see a double team, and they're allowing Van Slyke to come right off the tight end, and it hits kind of quick because they're used to Bishop Neumann going outside with that type of action. They're cutting it up there, and the defenders are overrunning it.
Fumble on the snap, but Fuyan's able to just jump on it. No loss on the play, maybe a loss of half a yard to get back to the 10-yard line. It's still going to be 2nd down and goal from the 10.
Yeah, you know what? They're right in striking territory. Now, look, we've seen Bishop Neumann. I think they've punted reluctantly twice, right? So this is 4-down territory for them. They know what's worked. All their adjustments that they've made so far at halftime has worked like a charm. So look for them to go back to Van Slyke up the middle off the tackle slot.
I formation. They turn, do hand it off. Van Slyke inside the 5, and he's tackled down at the 2. And it's going to be 3rd down and goal. After you mentioned the punting piece of it, for Bishop Neumann. I'm not sure how much more we're going to see them punt after a negative 4-yard punt that they had in the first half.
Understandable. Maybe if when they going from north to south, they might punt it with the wind behind their back. But to be honest with you, the way they're running the ball and the way they're able to push these guys off the line of scrimmage, I don't foresee them using the punter either.
Under center, it's Fuyan. Van Syke is the running back. He gets the handoff. How about that? Number 51 for GICC. That is Brandon Cloud. He pulled and tugged on the jersey of Van Slyke to just keep him from getting additional yardage, kept him out of the end zone until the cavalry could come help, and they finally took him down for a loss of a yard, make it 4th and goal from the 3.
Yeah, here we go. It's bend but don't break. Grand Island Central Catholic has a pride in their defense. They get a stop here. It's all for nothing for Bishop Neumann. So they've been driving the ball all of this third quarter, 6 minutes almost off the play clock. See if they get anything payback off it.
4th down and goal from the 3. They turn. They hand it off. Van Slyke, touchdown. Bishop Neumann up the left side. An easy run for Van Slyke as he scores another one to add to his season total. And the Bishop Neumann Cavaliers finally regain the lead 12-8.
Yeah, that's that adjustment from my recollection that they made at halftime. They're going straight zone blocking, just mesh blocking, inside, outside zone with wedge blocking, if you want to get technical about it. And Van Slyke is able to hide right off the tackles behind, in between the tackle and the tight end, and has been hitting it up there and has been unstoppable pretty much for this whole third quarter. And they've eaten up 5 minutes and 51 seconds off the play clock.
Those uprights are whipping back and forth, but they're going to go for 2 nonetheless. I formation, under center Fuyan. They turn. GICC, shows pressure up the middle. Yeah. They turn. They hand it off to Van Slyke, and he walks in for the 2-point conversion to make it 14-8 with 6:09 to go in the third quarter. An instrumental and methodical drive to start the second half for Bishop Neumann as they take a 6-point lead with 6 minutes left. Let's step aside, come back in 30 seconds here on 93.7 The Ticket.
At Jimmy John's, we don't make sandwiches. We make the sandwich of sandwiches. We use fresh veggies because we don't hate salads. We just feel bad for them. We make our sandwiches exactly how you want because you're the one who's eating it. And we bake bread all day, every day because stale bread isn't bread. It's croutons. Sandwich history is written by the victors. Good thing we have legible handwriting. Jimmy John's, the sandwich of sandwiches. Order pickup or delivery on the app.
Now back to high school football on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back in. Nick Sainert alongside Jay Foreman. 14-8 is your score as Bishop Neumann takes a 6-point lead. And GICC, the first time earlier in the game in the first quarter, they were able to answer the bell after a Bishop Neumann touchdown. We'll see if they can do it again as they trail once again by 6. They trailed this game 6-0 back in the early stages of the first quarter, as I mentioned. Bishop Neumann is actually leading statistically 175 yards to just 99. Now, a big chunk of that was the 80-yard drive that just capped off by a touchdown and a 2-point conversion by Jack Van Slyke. But regardless, GICC, for all the opportunities and chances that they've had, their offense hasn't necessarily done their job.
Yeah, like we said, they've had numerous opportunities to blow this game wide open, getting the ball deep in the Bishop Neumann's backed up territory in their red zone, and they haven't came out with anything. So now their back is against the wall. They're down by 6 points, and they've held a 2-point lead from the middle of the first quarter on. So they're down, and now they got to get something going offensively. They have to decide whether they were going to try to throw it deep or try to get their option game going. Maybe take a page out of Bishop Neumann's book and change up the blocking schemes and see if that works for Mr. Alberts.
Here comes Bishop Neumann, a very short kick. It's going to be fielded at the 34-yard line by the upback, and he will just kind of dive forward, lunge forward across the 40-yard line and down at the 41, and that is where we will see the offense for GICC take over. We've seen kind of 2 quarterbacks for GICC, the Crusaders, not only Grayson Sack, their starter, but also Jackson Gangwish, who's kind of been their backup. Gangwish doesn't get asked to throw a whole lot. Right. It's more so in the option game, but we've seen both of those guys.
Yeah, if you got Gangwish in there, don't hesitate to throw it with him because Bishop Neumann is expecting him to run the option. Now you can do a little option pass We used to run to our own 93.7 ticket for Sean Jackson.
Here on the right side,
Oh,
here is Strava. Strava gets knocked out of bounds, and Van Slyke was the one who delivered the blow.
Yeah, that was a big hit by Van Slyke. He ran all the way across the field there, and him and Stava met helmet to helmet, shoulder pad to shoulder pad, and I think Van Slyke came out on the winning side of that one.
Less than 5.5 to go in the third quarter of action here, C2 championship game. Nick Sainert, Jay Foreman alongside here in the shotgun. Sack gets the snap. He's running left side, has a running back with him on the option. He's going to keep it himself, has a running room. There goes Sack. Grayson Sack inside the 20, inside the 10. Touchdown, GICC. They trailed for the second time tonight, and they've answered the call for the second time as they have tied it up 14 apiece with 5:14 to play in the third.
Little speed option to the wide side of the field. They used the aggressiveness of Bishop Neumann linebackers. Van Slyke took it, tried to make a tackle for loss, and Sack did a really good job by extending it, cut it back up the hash, had enough speed to take it home. Now they might have a chance to get that lead back. Look at this cutback right here, Nick. And once you get on the hash, nobody can catch you. Really good job there by Sack, and good job of executing the speed option.
A high snap, and somehow the holder, number 3, Dax Galadley, is able to corral it and put it back in. The place kicker able to put it through the uprights, and they have the lead 15-14 with 5:14 to go in the third quarter. Man, what a answer for GICC.
Yeah, we thought, look, they haven't done anything besides their true first drive in the first quarter and the first drive of the second half. They got the wind-aided squib kick. 2 plays later, touchdown. Good job by GICC. Both of these teams obviously coming in 11-1. They have really good coaching staffs. They know their players. They know how to make adjustments. They went in at halftime, extended halftime, I think a little bit longer than normal high school games. Were able to settle their teams down, and now we're starting to see some firepower offensively. So now it's up to Bishop Neumann to answer the bell. They're down by 1 when they're normally had been most of the game down by 2. So now they have plenty of time to go back and try to get the lead.
It is 15-14 with 5:14 to go in the third quarter. Ready to kick it off. It's Garrett Watson, the place kicker. He will have a high short kick fielded at the 8-yard line. I say short because with wind aided, not a touchback here, as the return is brought up to the 25-yard line or so by number 3, that is Hudson Fordick, and that is where Bishop Neumann, who had the lead for just about 47 seconds to be exact, will take over at their own 25-yard line, down by 1, 15-14.
Yeah, good job there. Good coverage there by GICC. Even though they had the wind behind their back, there was a gust, and it kind of got floated up in the air. They had a really good coverage because sometimes, Nick, when the ball's kicked shorter than you initially project, you can overrun the returner.
Here we go with Bishop Neumann. They send a man in motion, turn, hand it off. Lund, the carry, right up the middle. He goes for a gain of 3 up to the 28-yard line. It'll bring up 2nd down and 7 as we are under 5 minutes to play in the third quarter. And I'll say it again, with the risk of jinxing it, I suppose, that this has been the smoothest and most rhythmic game I think that we've had in terms of how quick it's gone each quarter. Now, granted, both of these teams don't really throw it a whole lot, just a total of 10 combined passes today. For GICC, they're 2 for 5 as a team. Bo Fuyan is 1 for 5 as an individual here. Fuyan, speak of the devil, runs with it left side.
Oh.
He fumbled the football. I think he was down.
But yeah, that'll go to replay. But the referee was blocked by one of the GICC's defenders, so he couldn't see it.
And they've called it GICC football.
Right. Now, is it true every turnover is going to our next door neighbors over there?
I don't know.
But let's see on the replay.
If Kevin is Kevin.
I saw Kevin today.
Kevin's here?
Yeah, Kevin. We got to do a little knock. Who's there?
All right, so we're going to find out if this one ends up going upstairs here. We have yet to hear from the head official. I thought it looked pretty clear.
Yeah, he's down.
That he was down. And this might be one of those that if it's so clear. The previous play is going to be under review. I'm surprised just replay assisted and help him out.
Yeah, we had one of those in the first half. And now they just got to wait to get official, maybe call. Want to see how each other's doing. See how you're doing with the cold.
Yep. You need some hand warmers. Fooyan. I mean, they're here. What's the most Midwestern thing that people can say it wouldn't be bad if it wasn't for the wind? That's the most Midwestern. How often you said that? I know you said it a lot.
Yeah, I've said it a lot.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Nebraska wouldn't be so bad if it wasn't windy, right?
Exactly. Yeah. But okay. Now that we have a stoppage in action, coldest game you've ever played in?
We played New England Patriots up in Buffalo. The game started, Nick, at what the actual temperature was like 44 degrees. We went at halftime. It had dropped 20 degrees in regular degrees, not even real feel, and we had 2 inches of snow.
Oh, okay. During the game?
During the game. By halftime.
Oh, by halftime.
Through halftime.
Gotcha.
The end of the first quarter, into the second quarter, through halftime. And we went into overtime against New England Patriots, Nick. And it was almost football follies. There was so much snow. The kickers were slipping, trying to kick field goals and stuff. And it was at the point they drove all the way down. We turned the ball over, right at the 5 or 6 yard line with 2 seconds left. Adam Vinatieri kicked it through the field goal. No handshake, no nothing. I'm out of here. Had two friends on the other side. They was like, "Where'd you go?" I was like, "I was hitting the shower, buddy."
Here's a stupid question: is it better to play in snow or rain? Is there a difference?
For me, the snow was fine with me. I grew up playing in the snow, and you got to have a good how to deal with it, but. The rain is a little bit different because it's annoying. It makes the pads and everything heavier, and obviously ball handling. I think the snow is more or less just dealing with, a lot of the big guys don't want to get down on the, get knocked down. And so as long as it's not real bad snow. You remember a couple years ago, Philly played Detroit, your Detroit Lions in Philly.
I do remember
and you couldn't even see the yardage marker.
That's right.
That's not fun. And sometimes.
Fooyan's ruled down, so Bishop Neumann will retain possession here. Which is what we expected.
Yeah.
I'm surprised the replay took as long as it did, but nonetheless, might have been determining the yard and everything there. But nonetheless, it's 3rd and 4 now for Bishop Neumann. 15-14.
Break.
Yeah, 15-14 is your score with GICC out in front by 1. 4 minutes and 22 seconds remain in the third quarter. Shotgun formation. Lund to the right of Fooyan with Van Slyke to his left hip. One wide out each side. They turn. They fake the handoff. Fooyan's going to keep it. A big hole up the middle. First down and a little bit more just for good measure. To the 37-yard line goes Bo Fooyan.
This Bishop Neumann offense and offensive line look way more crisp in the second half than they did in the first half. They made adjustment as far as their blocking schemes, but then more importantly, their execution has went up by those adjustments. And then obviously allowed Fooyan to get loose a little bit. Then you can get Lund and Van Slyke going off of him.
15-14. GICC out in front by 1. 1st and 10 from the own 37-yard line of Bishop Neumann. They have the football down by 1. Back to pass Fooyan over the air or over the outstretched arm of the defense, and unable to haul it in was Quinn Shutt, who was real active in the early stages, been quiet ever since.
Yeah, he was real active on the defensive end. He obviously started the game off with the tackle on special teams, and obviously had a sack and so forth and so on. But he's another athlete that could really get off by the byproduct of this running game getting open.
Yeah.
Look for that same type of pass pattern, a little bit of a 2-delay flat. Coach Osborne special with our plethora of tight ends we had.
Quinn Shutt, the only Bishop Neumann Cavalier with a reception today, 1 catch for 9 yards on 3 targets. They turn, fake the handoff. Fooyan off and running. Big hole up the left side on the near sideline across the 30. He is going to go. Touchdown, Bishop Neumann. 63 yards, Bo Fooyan.
Yep.
And Bishop Neumann takes the lead right back.
You talked about Shutt not being really active, but he just got active there. He had the touchdown ceiling block there on the edge that allowed Fooyan hit the sidelines. A really good job there of reading and being patient. Sometimes when you run the speed option, if you play too much in a hurry, you play to the defense's advantage. Really good job of extending it. You see it on this replay, and then he was reading the blocks on the run. A really good job there again by Shutt's big block there on the edge. Grand Island Central Catholic, this is like, uncharted waters for them. Come out in the second half. They really held serve, really the first half. In the second half, 2 possessions. Bishop Neumann has walked the ball down the field. It's going to be interesting to see how they adjust to the new version of this Bishop Neumann offense. Look at it again here, Nick. if they show the replay, if you look at that right there, look at Shutt, that big block right there. He ran his defender into another defender, allowed Fuyan to hit the sideline.
He was initially matched up with Jack Alberts, the leading tackler at GICC, which makes it a little bit more impressive to that point. The 2-point conversion is good on the rush by Jack Van Slyke as well. And so with that, Bishop Neumann takes a 22-15 lead. Bo Fuyan now on the day, 11 carries, 111 rushing yards, and 1 rushing touchdown, as that capped off a 5-play, 75-yard drive, a 63-yard rushing touchdown for the quarterback of Bishop Neumann, the Cavaliers, Bo Fuyan. Now, GICC, can they answer it again for a third time? We'll find out in just a moment here as Bishop Neumann has the ball teed up, and we're ready to get play going once again as the entire stadium now covered in shadows. The lights are starting to illuminate the field, and the wind keeps on making my window here pop up and down.
You can close
it's a little startled.
You can close that window.
We cannot. We cannot close that window. Just you got gloves. You got a hat on. You're good. You're tough. That's why I asked. This is nothing compared to that day in New England.
Yeah, okay. Nick,
that's why I brought it up. That's why I brought it up. I got to remind you what you've been through.
My memory is clear. My body is not ready for it. But you know what, Nick? I think one of the themes in this second half is trying to establish the quarterback run game, right? When you come in with two predominantly run teams, you look at the running backs, and obviously Alberts and obviously Van Slyke lead the way. So now they're trying to really come with the off-speed pitch, per se, to keep the defenses at bay.
It's 1st and 10 from the 44-yard line as GICC has it. Quarterback keeper, sack with it. Fumble on the play, and I believe Bishop Neumann recovered. They did.
Wow, big hit there by number 63 from Bishop Neumann. Came down the line, and Sack tried to cut back, and he jarred the ball loose. Good hustle there by Bishop Neumann defensively. Everybody trying to get their hat to the ball. Good things happen when you hustle to the football.
So Bishop Neumann catches a break after they force a fumble.
Van Slyke got his hand in there, didn't make the tackle, swiped at the ball, big 63, nature versus nurture hit. Big fumble cause, big fumble recovery there by Bishop Neumann. Where is Bishop Neumann? Do you know where it's at?
Yeah,
it's like northeast Nebraska.
Right? No, just it's pretty close to us, yeah. Here on the right side, Fuyan keeps it himself, is able to shed a couple of tackles. And on the right side, it's a gain of 6 yards up to the 44-yard line.
Hey, now, Nick, Grand Island Central Catholic now. Are you with Pius, are you guys brethren?
There is nothing. There's there's nothing like that. I'm not sure you understand. Never mind. We're not.
No, I do not understand.
We're not getting into this. Bishop Neumann, by the way, is just in Wahoo, so it's pretty close.
Yeah, I thought so.
Way northeast Nebraska, right? 2nd down and 4 from the 44-yard line. Here's shotgun formation. To the right is Lund. Left is Van Slyke. Bobbled snap. Fuyan gets it. He gets upended. Great tackle there by number 6 for GICC and Jackson Gangwish, who's second on the team in tackles. It makes it a 3rd down and 3 situation with 2:37 to play in the third quarter.
I did get confirmation Jackson Gangwish is related to Jack Gangwish.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah. So picking up like his brother in there, big tackle there by Jackson Gangwish. Right now, Bishop Neumann, you're moving the ball with pretty much ease, right? And you got 2 minutes left. You're thinking about, okay, how can we extend this drive, really wear down this Grand Island Central Catholic defense that's reeling, obviously, Nick. What's so funny?
Nothing's funny. Here on 3rd down and short, as Fuyan gets taken down in the backfield. He tried to run off to the right side, and he's immediately brought down. A great job by GICC. Loss of 4 on the play makes it 4th down and 7 from the 47-yard line. And with 1:50 to go in the third quarter, Bishop Neumann with the ball up by 7.
Yeah, Bishop Neumann knows that they can maybe go back to that run play off tackle with Van Slyke with that wedge blocking. They tried to go do a play that worked like a charm where they ran Lund up in the middle for a fullback dive. They weren't fooled by it like they were the first time. And now you're looking at Bishop Neumann has a wide split. So this letting you know right now, Nick, it's going to be some sort of inside run.
4th down and 7 from the 47-yard line. A penalty flag is on the play. And with
Delay
1:23, we have a stoppage, and was signaled against GIC. No, it's delay a game against Bishop Neumann.
Yeah, they tried to run it right down to the very last second and wasn't able to get the snap. And the center had awareness, tried to snap it. Quarterback wasn't ready for it.
And after the delay of game, that makes it 4th down and 12. And so it's still a tough time for Joe Pavlik, the head coach for Bishop Neumann, is you can't really punt it. You don't probably have a lot of faith in your punting unit. You feel like you have a better chance to get yards if you just chuck it downfield. Lund is going to be lined up 2 yards behind the quarterback as Fuyan turns, fakes the handoff. Fuyan keeps it left side. He's not going to get the first down, but he does get across midfield. He gets those 5 yards back that they lost on the delay of game, but not much more after that. With 56 seconds to go in the third quarter, GICC is going to take over.
Yeah, Bishop Neumann obviously didn't want to put it in the air. I thought maybe they would have went to shut because he had a good matchup. But when you look at this play by Fuyan, he was probably 1 block away from getting a crucial first down and keeping possession of the ball going into the fourth quarter.
So nonetheless, 1st down and 10 coming up for GICC. It is going to be a timeout on the field, so the fumble that GICC had does not come back to hurt them. They take over 1st and 10 at their own 48-yard line when we return in 30 seconds here on 93.7 The Ticket.
If you're a homeowner or a business owner, you have a lot of projects, and no one has an unlimited budget or time. Sunbelt Rentals makes all jobs less stressful with no need to purchase large equipment or hire a crew. You can do it yourself with rentals and everything from aerators and power rakes for spring yard work to stump grinders, concrete mixers, tile saws, and more. Check out their inventory in Lincoln, north of Cornhusker Highway on 56th Street, or online at sunbeltrentals.com.
Now back to high school football on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back in. Memorial Stadium, the site, as with 56 seconds to go in the third quarter. It is 22-15. Jay, I mean, look around, man.
It's beautiful out here.
You got
nice fall day here in Lincoln, Nebraska.
I take pride in keeping this little press box that we have clean.
The wind blew over my popcorn.
Is that really what happened?
Yeah, because the window's open. So we need crowd noise and we need wind. So
Here we go. On 1st and 10, Jack Alberts with the handoff. He gets forward across midfield into Bishop Neumann territory for a gain of 3.
Nick, when you think about that, that was a TV timeout, right?
It was.
Okay, so it was a TV timeout.
Yeah,
I was going to say, why would Bishop Neumann take a timeout like that? So that you get, sometimes when you get in the state championship, you do get those kind of bonus timeouts, so you're able to regroup here. So now for Grand Island Central Catholic, you're putting together the next play and then the next 2 plays to start the fourth quarter.
2nd down and 7. There's 22 seconds to go in the third quarter. Ball is on the 49-yard line of Bishop Neumann. Shotgun set to the right now. Motioning out is the running back Alberts. Empty shotgun formation. Back to pass with the wind at their back. They're going to take a shot downfield. He has a receiver. He just got turned around and lost the ball. It goes out of bounds. Incomplete intended on the play for number 5, Graham Stava. And it falls incomplete with 5 seconds to play in the third quarter. It's 3rd and 7 for GICC.
Yeah, Stava had a couple steps on the Alex Berry there, the defender for Bishop Neumann. But the ball just got hung up. And I'm telling you, Nick, you have to have a lot of experience in this type of wind. When to throw it hard, the type of trajectory, and how accurate you can be. And sometimes as a receiver, you have to adjust your routes based on the wind direction as well.
Barry, who is in coverage, leads the Cavaliers defense in interceptions with 4 this season. They here on the option play, quarterback keeper, nowhere to go as the quarterback for GICC, Grayson Sack, got sandwiched together. And that will do it for the end of the third quarter. After 3 quarters of play, your score, Bishop Neumann 22, GICC 15 here in the Class C2 state championship game on 93.7 The Ticket.
A business's phone is the lifeline to its customers and potential clients. That's why it's so important that you can take calls seamlessly from anywhere, whether you're on the road or in the office. Hamilton Business Technologies can help ensure your phone rings wherever you are. We can equip your headquarters and any of its locations with the right tools for smooth, professional call handling. As the official business IT partner of the Huskers, we know how to keep Nebraska businesses connected. Learn more at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Your possibilities are endless at Doane University. Rooted in liberal arts, you can choose from undergraduate and graduate programs, all delivering real-world experience. At Doane University, we take a personal approach to education, giving you the guidance you need to own your future. It's not just our long history of innovative learning, It's the feeling of being surrounded by possibilities that makes us different. Now is your time. Apply today at doan.edu/apply.
Welcome back to high school football on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
I like that.
Welcome back into Memorial Stadium. It's 22-15 as we start the fourth quarter of play. Ball will be placed on the Bishop Neumann 48-yard line. GICC has it 4th down and 5, rather 4th and 6. They're going to keep their offense on the field as they now head into that wind here at Memorial Stadium.
Yeah, Grand Island Central Catholic got to keep going, and they got to get this first down and get the momentum back on their side. Now, they were able to withstand another turnover, but they got to keep the momentum because Bishop Neumann is humming on offense.
Back to pass. Here is Sack. Sack steps up, trying to beat a defender one-on-one. He barrels over, and he will be well shy of the first down line to gain. He's tackled at the 46, needed 6. He got 2, and it's going to be a turnover on downs. It's just so nonchalant throughout this game. When teams turn it over on downs, it's like the other opponent's fans say, okay, yeah, I mean, we've done this 8 times already today.
Yeah.
It's not anything
Yeah,
big.
we're used to – we're not used to everybody, fourth down, going for it on 4th down. But I think with the conditions and maybe the lack of opportunity to develop a true kicking game as far as, field goal kicking, you go for it. But 2 high-powered offenses, Nick. Both teams come in here 11-1, led by their running game where they're able to strike from long distances with the run game, I think leads to it as well.
Fumble on the snap. It's quickly pounced on by Fuyan, and he's able to retain possession for Bishop Neumann. And so it's going to be a loss of 3 yards on first down, makes it 2nd and 13. We're just underway in the fourth quarter of action here. 11:35 remains in the fourth quarter of the C2 state championship game. Bishop Neumann trying to hoist the trophy for the first time since 2003. They went back-to-back in 2002 and 2003, while Grand Island Central Catholic trying to capture the crown for the first time in school history. 2nd down and 13 from their own 43-yard line. They send a man in motion from top to bottom, left to right. Here, pass down on a quick post. It's hauled in. What a nice grab by number 22. That's Alex Berry.
Yeah.
We've called his name defensively today, but we have not called it offensively until that catch. That's his first grab of the day.
If you go back into the second drive there for Bishop Neumann in the first quarter, they tried to hit Berry on that same pass play, actually into the wind. It didn't work out well. Really good job there by Berry on the quick slant, getting an explosive play out of the passing game.
Van Slyke lined up to Fuyan's left, Lund to his right. In the shotgun, one receiver to the far side. They turn, hand it off to Van Slyke. He's immediately met by a wall of white jerseys that was initially led by number 55 on that defensive line. There is Owen Price once again making the stop.
Yeah, he's had a big day today in this state championship game, and he's done a good job trying to stop Van Slyke up the middle. A little bit of change in blocking scheme there. I think that Bishop Neumann has made a lot of yards and big explosive plays with the wedge blocking. Van Slyke off the tackles behind. Then you have Lund behind him if you want to run a speed option to the wide side as well.
2nd down and 10, I formation. They turn, fake the handoff to the fullback, give it to Lund on the misdirection. Nowhere to go. Guess who's in there? Big number 65 and number 5. That is Graham Stava and Will Mazur in on the stop for GICC to force a 3rd down and 11 for Bishop Neumann.
Nick, right there, and it went back to a little bit of a counter that we saw, at times from USC and Penn State against our own Nebraska's defense, which allows Grand Island Central Catholic that speed and physicality to get across the line of scrimmage and get another tackle for loss.
So Landon Sund is going to be the deep back here as it's I formation. Lined up at fullback is Jack Van Slyke, the leading rusher for this Bishop Neumann offense. They turn, fake the handoff. Fuyan's going to keep it, turn up field. He will not get to the first down line to gain.
Mask.
There is a flag that comes flying in right where Fuyan was tackled. It felt like he just kind of was a congested tackle. I don't know how they could have gotten a face mask, but it was thrown by the head referee, and we'll see what the call was.
It was a hold.
It was a hold. Now, if you are GICC, the way it stands is it would be 4th down and about 9. Do you decline the penalty?
Well, they've already accepted the
They've
penalty.
already accepted. Are you surprised that they accepted the penalty?
I am surprised they accepted the penalty because you want the ball back, and you expect on 4th and 10 it's going to be a run play. Now you have Now you give this Bishop Neumann offense one or two more shots at getting the first down, considering you haven't really stopped them running the ball in the second half, and let alone that this whole third quarter. They ran the ball pretty easily.
Bishop Neumann averaging 6.5 yards per carry as a team. Empty shotgun set as they motion Lund out, but Coach Pavlik on that Bishop Neumann sideline wants to talk things over ahead of a 3rd and 21 snap. We will step aside as well, come back in 30 seconds here on 93.7 The Ticket.
There's only one place this holiday season to shop for the sports fan in your life and get cash back for slightly used sports items you don't need anymore. Play It Again Sports. Check out their selection of new and used items, including home fitness equipment like treadmills, exercise bikes, and ellipticals, and get your lift on with 3 weights, benches, and racks to add to your home gym. And don't forget, if you have anything slightly used to trade in, they'll give you instant cash. Holiday shopping starts and ends at Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Now back to high school football on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Out of a Bishop Neumann timeout, it is 3rd and 21 for the Cavaliers against Grand Island Central Catholic. They have the ball on the GICC 49-yard line. They got to get all the way to the GICC 28 to keep this drive alive. 3rd down, back to pass, going to chuck it deep. It is severely underthrown. Barry had beaten his man and had 6 points if he could have hauled it in, but instead it's going to be 4th down and 21. And now does Bishop Neumann trust their punt units to see if they can pin them deep with the wind at your back? Or do they go for it on 4th and 21, Jay? What would you do?
I would punt it, but they've went for it on 4th and short, 4th and long, 4th and forever. They don't change now. You're 9 minutes away from being a state champ.
I think they're going to punt. They move Van Slyke back, and he's going to pooch punt it. It's a line drive kick. Nice spin on it. Can the coverage team get down there in time? It's slowly bouncing, and finally it's down at the 2. A great punt by Jack Van Slyke as Bishop Neumann downs it at the 2. And if GICC wants to make something happen, they're going to have to go 98 yards on this drive in order to have a chance at tying this one up. It's going to be 1st and 10 for Grand Island Central Catholic at their own 2-yard line. As Grayson Sack, the quarterback, leads the Crusaders offense back out there here with 9:03 to play in the 4th quarter. Trailing 22-15 in the shotgun set with Alberts to his left. 2 wideouts each side. Snap, the handoff, barely getting out of the end zone is Alberts. Bishop Neumann sent a late showing blitz up the middle. GICC wasn't ready to defend it, and it almost cost them 2 more points.
GICC is going to get a fullback dive going, or maybe a little bit of a quarterback sneak / tush push to get out of this negative territory. A really good job there by Bishop Neumann a couple plays ago, covering a punt and obviously getting that nice favorable roll for him. So Grand Island Central Catholic has to really realize where they're at. There's 8 and a half minutes and counting left in the state championship game. They are backed up, and they might not get the ball back if they don't get a first down.
Showing blitz up the middle as it's a quarterback keeper. A fumble is on the play. I think Bishop Neumann might have recovered. They did. Yep. It's a fumble by GICC on the goal line, and Bishop Neumann will take over 1st and goal inside the GICC 2-yard line.
Nick, as we sit here with Bishop Neumann having the ball on the 2-yard line, how many times did we talk about in the first half of Grand Island Central Catholic having the ball at or around the 10 or 11-yard line? I think 3 different possessions where they could have maybe punched it in with a better running game or a better passing game. Now their backs against what potentially be down by 2 scores.
Bishop Neumann takes over 1st and goal from the 1. Under center, it's Fuyan. Behind him, it's Van Slyke. They turn. It's blown up. Nowhere to go for Bishop Neumann. I don't even know who had the ball because as soon as Fuyan turned, you couldn't tell if he wanted to hand it off or not. But Braylon Wolf disrupted and blew it all up, and then they lost 2 officially on first down.
Watch this replay. It was impeccable timing by Wolf. And then obviously Alberts was coming. They timed up Van Slyke going up in the middle. It's a sellout blitz trying to get a negative play from Bishop Neumann, and it worked out well. Gives the defense a little bit of leeway here as they're backed up against their own goal line.
Jay, look at the uprights in the south end zone. They're each going one way.
Yeah.
They're going wider. 2nd and goal from the 3. Shotgun set, fumble on the snap. Nowhere to go for Fuyan. Fuyan driven back. It's another loss of a couple of yards. Forward progress marks him at the 8-yard line. And so now on 2 plays, Bishop Neumann has lost 7 yards after starting this drive on the 1-yard line of GICC. They're in danger.
Yeah, they got 2 more plays, and this could be the biggest turn of events here in this state championship for both teams. If Grand Island Central Catholic is able to escape, which seemed to be an insurmountable 2-score deficit, but now they have 1 more down to put the pressure on Bishop Neumann solely to try to score.
Shotgun set, they turn, looking to pass left side into the end zone for Barry. Incomplete, and it's a penalty on the play. They're going to get number 8, Mason Vasquez, for a pass interference in the end zone. One thing, as we learned and experienced in the early game, this is not an automatic first down, but instead it's half the distance to the goal. So it's not 1st and goal from the 4. It's going to be 3rd and goal from the 4. But Bishop Neumann somewhat got bailed out on that call because I thought it was pretty good defense by Vasquez.
Yeah, Vasquez was right in the hip pocket, maybe a little bit. I think the inaccurate throw made it look like pass interference because it was behind both the receiver and the defender.
And so once again, half the distance to the goal, 3rd and goal now from the 4-yard line. I formation for Bishop Neumann in a game where we've had 10 fumbles. Can Bishop Neumann punch it in? They give it to Van Slyke. He towers forward, and he's in. Touchdown, Bishop Neumann. With 6:50 to play in the 4th quarter, they extend their lead to 13, 28-15.
Yeah, Bishop Neumann was able to take advantage of the GICC mistake on their own goal line, aided by a pass interference call, got them a little bit closer to the touchdown. Van Slyke punched it in. Could be the nail in the coffin still. Now, if you're a Grand Island Central Catholic and the offensive coaches, you got to get going. I'm talking about in and out of the huddle. You can run the ball a little bit, but you got to be up on the line of scrimmage trying to attack this Bishop Neumann defense that has really been able to clamp you down besides 2 drives at the beginning of the game and then obviously the beginning of the second half.
Here's Van Slyke, no, rather Fuyan, quarterback keeper. He waltzes in untouched, and now Bishop Neumann has doubled up GICC. They lead at 30-15 here with 6:47 to play in the 4th quarter of the C2 championship game. We'll be back in 30 seconds on 93.7 The Ticket.
At Jimmy John's, we don't make sandwiches. We make the sandwich of sandwiches. We use fresh veggies because we don't hate salads. We just feel bad for them. We make our sandwiches exactly how you want because you're the one who's eating it. And we bake bread all day, every day because stale bread isn't bread. It's croutons. Sandwich history is written by the victors. Good thing we have legible handwriting. Jimmy John's, the sandwich of sandwiches. Order pickup or delivery on the app.
Now back to high school football on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
As a team for Bishop Neumann, 45 carries, 241 rushing yards, 4 rushing touchdowns on the day. They're averaging about 5.5 per carry. And a big chunk of that coming from Fuyan and Jack Van Slyke. Van Slyke, 16 carries, 89 yards, 3 scores for the Cavaliers of Bishop Neumann as they boot it back towards the GICC Crusaders. Muffle on the kickoff, but GICC able to get it back now near side as they're delivering the blow on the return. That's number 9, Thomas Schneider on the return. He gets it up to the 34-yard line of GICC, where with 6:42 to go and 3 timeouts to work with, GICC trailing by 15 will start their drive.
Yeah, they've shown at times to be, able to be explosive in the run game. Obviously, more importantly, the quarterback keeper. But they're going to have to make some hay in the pass game here. So they're going to have to get it going here with Sack and obviously maybe get Alberts out of the backfield. You got Stava in a favorable matchup against Perry, which they've been trying to exploit all day long.
Shotgun set, Alberts to the left of Sack. They turn, they hand it off. Alberts nowhere to go. Number 72 for the Bishop Neumann Cavaliers. In on the stop first, Alex Goki was the first one to meet Jack Alberts. Almost said Trev Alberts.
Yeah.
Jack Alberts up the middle.
Yeah, good job there by Goki staying at home and obviously keying on Albert. You knew most likely the run was going to come on first and second down. Good job by the Bishop Neumann defenders there snuffing out that run.
2nd down and 9 from the 33-yard line of GICC. They quarterback keeper. He tosses it left side. It's bobbled, and that's an incomplete pass. There, the near sideline official signals incomplete pass. They were trying to get it from Gangwish to number 8, Mason Vasquez, but it was incomplete, bobbled by Vasquez. And honestly, Jay, I think even if that was hauled in, he's not getting very far.
Yeah, kind of maybe worked out for him. So Sack's back in the game. They're trying to throw it horizontally. You got to throw the ball more vertically to try to score points here, especially when you're down by 15 points, which is obviously 2 scores. You can't sit on the ball. I know there's 6 minutes left, which seems forever, but Bishop Neumann is able to run the ball pretty easily. This could be your last drive.
Sack looking to pass, dodges one defender, has to reset, now reverses course, nowhere to go. There is Schutt with the sack along with number 63, Charles Tolene, and Bishop Neumann has forced it into a 4th and 16 situation for GICC.
Yeah, Charles Tolene, I think he's the nephew of one of my classmates, Travis Tolene. Him and Schutt have done a really good job of dominating against the run game and obviously providing timely pass rush as well. So right here, it's 4th down and 16. And so this is the game here for GICC. One, to keep them in the game, or you can start thinking about heading to the exit.
5:18 to play in the 4th quarter. Snap back, Gangwish in at quarterback. It's a screen play. They set it up, and it's incomplete. It was unable to haul in the pass. It was intended for number 9, Thomas Schneider. There is a penalty marker on the play. I don't know if there's an ineligible man downfield, which can be often with screen plays, or a holding call, like you said.
Yeah, the timing was off because of Bishop Neumann was really blitzkrieg the quarterback. So you couldn't really get the defense to suck in and then be able to get the screen game behind it.
Penalty is declined, and so it's going to be a 1st down for Bishop Neumann. They'll take over 1st and 10 at the GICC 26-yard line. The Cavaliers sideline and cheering section on the east side of the stadium can start to exhale just a little bit as Fuyan is under center. Van Slyke is lined up behind him. Ball is placed at the 26. They turn. Van Slyke, left side run. He continues to lower the shoulder and run hard and is taken down at the 21-yard line, gain of 5 on 1st down as we are less than 5 minutes away from the C2 championship game being decided.
Yeah, Coach Pavlik and those Bishop Neumann football players and coaches and staff can almost taste it. Their state championship is in their grasp. And you got to think, they spent the whole first half down 8-6. They really didn't move the ball besides getting a gift on the first play from scrimmage by GICC. But whatever adjustments they've made at halftime has worked tenfold, right? The way they changed the blocking scheme has allowed Van Slyke to get off. They allowed Farouk to get off as well as far as the quarterback run game. And then they have, some skill position guys in Quinn Schutt that can get open as well if they need to pass it. But right now, they're in and out of the huddle at the very last minute. I think if they continue along this pace, they just picked up a 1st down. They can still get another 1st down, Nick. So you got to think another minute and a half or so should be off the clock, and then some if they don't get the 1st down before 4th down comes.
4:20 to go in the 4th quarter. 1st and 10 from the 13-yard line. Under center, it's Fuyan. Van Slyke behind him, as they have now rushed for 256 yards as a team. They hand it off. Van Slyke left side, continues to lower the helmet, trying to keep on going, trying to get a shove from Schutt, his teammate. Doesn't go very far after that, though, as it's going to be a gain of 4 up to the 9-yard line. 3:55 to play in the 4th quarter, and Bishop Neumann on the doorstep of winning their first state title in C2 action in school history, the 4th in school history overall across all classes. They won the C1 championship in 77, 2002, and 2003, here competing in the Class C2.
Yeah,
now,
Wahoo won earlier, right?
That's correct.
So,
little football town.
Little football town.
2nd and 7 from the left side. Here's Van Slyke. He gets inside the 5 and down at the 4. It'll be 3rd down and 1 coming up from that 4-yard line with 3:15 to go in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, I mean, it's the clock is turning and the reality is setting in for GICC, and obviously Bishop Neumann is just trying to make it a formality here. it's 3rd and short and they can get another first down, they could pretty much sit on the ball if they're able to get a first down.
Under center, it's going to be Bo Fuyan,
who's really came alive in the second half. I think obviously hit a big pass to Perry, but running the ball, he's really came alive.
Van Slyke in for the touchdown. Touchdown, Bishop Neumann from 4 yards out. He got hit as soon as he approached that goal line, and that will just about do it as Jack Van Slyke gets his 4th rushing touchdown of the day.
Yeah.
And Bishop Neumann extends their lead to 21, 36-15 as they have had an onslaught in this second half. They trailed, as Jay mentioned, 8-6 at half. They've allowed just 7 points in the second half for GICC, and they've put up 30 of their own.
Yeah, it's been a really impressive second half there by Bishop Neumann. All the adjustments they made at halftime, recalibrating their team has paid off. Congratulations to them.
And the extra point is up and good. Let's take one final timeout here on 93.7 The Ticket. We'll be back in 30 seconds.
Ready to score big with your projects? Look no further than Edward Stone, the MVP of natural stone for over 2 decades. Edward Stone is cranking out over 30,000 square feet every week and offers a winning lineup of over 70 quality natural veneer stone selections. Their unbeatable variety and experienced team will ensure your project is a success, whether it's a home renovation or a commercial build. And hey, they're not just about stone. They've got an all-star lineup of fireplaces, cast stone, brick, and much more. Swing by one of their locations in Lincoln or Omaha today and experience the Edward Stone difference, your reliable choice for over 20 years.
Now back to high school football on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
So we certainly can't bury the lead in that first-year head coach for Bishop Neumann. He came over from Syracuse, and Joe Pavlik is 2 minutes and 44 seconds away from securing the school's first state title since 2003 in his first season with the Cavaliers.
Yeah, he's done a really good job, obviously, coming over from Syracuse and taking this program, Bishop Neumann, to the state championship game and on the heels of their first championship. And obviously, I think it's even a bigger credit to when you get a staff and get that continuity going and getting the players and the student body to believe in it. A pretty good crowd here coming from Bishop Neumann. And then obviously halftime adjustments have paid off tenfold. Yep. So congratulations to him.
Right side on the return. It's returned by number 9, Thomas Schneider. He gets across the 35 and to the 37-yard line. 2 minutes, 39 seconds remain in the fourth quarter. It's 37-15 Bishop Neumann. This is one of those where Bishop Neumann's dominated the second half, sure, but the scoreboard still doesn't indicate just how tightly contested it felt like this was up until the last 6 or 7 minutes of game time, really.
Yeah, I mean, it was Bishop Neumann who had it like the eye test, and they just weren't winning on the scoreboard. They actually flipped it at halftime. They just said, we're going to double down not only in the eye test, we're going to blow you guys out in the second half by scoring 31 points.
Jack Alberts with the carry on first down, gets it forward for about 2 yards up to the 39. It's going to be 2nd down and 8 coming up for GICC. Jack Alberts has had a pretty nice day. There's been a couple of explosive plays in there. He's had 21 carries now on the day for 59 yards, averaging around 3 yards per carry. But for the most part, I mean, there's been a couple of really nice performances and plays for Jack Alberts in there. But really in the second half, GICC been shut down offensively. Here is a quarterback keeper, Gangwish, somehow able to get a throw off in time, but it hit the turf before Thomas Schneider could get underneath it. And we have a late penalty flag. A late penalty flag thrown in right where that offensive line was.
Yeah, it's either a legal man downfield or late hit on the quarterback, personal foul.
What's your guess before we get the signal?
Late hit on the quarterback.
All right. We'll find out. We'll see if this is on GICC.
It looked like
emotions towards the end of the game. Unsportsmanlike conduct. Illegal forward pass. That wasn't on any of our bingo cards.
Yeah.
So lost it down on that one as Gangwish was past the line of scrimmage while he threw it forward. And so with that, it is going to be 3rd down and 13 officially with 1:58 remaining in the fourth quarter. Shotgun set. 2 wideouts far side, 1 isolated at the bottom. They turn, hand it off. Jack Alberts right at the middle. There he goes across the 40 and down at the 41-yard line. to make it 4th down and 6 coming up. With that being said, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification here on the ticket.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Snap back and handoff to Alberts. Right up the middle they go on 4th and 7. He gets a gain of 4, and he will get up to the 44-yard line, but that is a turnover on downs, which means Bishop Neumann trots their offense back onto the field, and it's all formality at this point with 90 seconds left in the ball game, and Bishop Neumann up by 22.
Yeah, Nick, for Bishop Neumann, a well-earned first state championship, and obviously you want to tip your hat to Coach Pavlik and crew to come in and take this team to not only a state championship game, but winning decisively in the second half. It's always about adjustments, but who has the staying power to finish it off, and this is the best formation. This is the first play you want to put in when you're putting in your offense is victory formation, so congratulations to them.
GICC, prior to today, the most points that they allowed in a single game was 21. And then going into today, now today on this game, shout out to Bishop Neumann, put up 37 points on the scoreboard. A really impressive offensive dominating performance for Bishop Neumann offensively. And the Grand Island CC Crusaders still searching for their first state championship after this one is all but over. 1 minute on the dot remains here in the fourth quarter. They'll have to snap it 2 more times. And on second down, they'll go ahead and kneel it down with Bo Fuyan. Fuyan on the day, a nice performance. 17 carries, 110 rushing yards, and 1 touchdown on the ground. Jack Van Slyke, the starting running back, 21 carries, 115 rushing yards, and 4 touchdowns for Van Slyke. And then Landon Sun, who was very active in the first half, 10 carries, 46 yards. As a team, Bishop Neumann ran at 5.2 yards per carry. 20 seconds still shows on the game clock. GICC slowly starts to head back to their sideline. They start to formulate the handshake line at midfield here at Memorial Stadium. Bishop Neumann starts the initial hugs as the celebrations will begin. The city of Wahoo, not 1 but 2 state champions for the first time since 2003. The Bishop Neumann Cavaliers are your 2025 C2 state champions. They win it over Grand Island Central Catholic 37-15, and that will do it for our 5th of 6 state championship games here on 93.7 The Ticket. Jay, tonight, 7:15 p.m.,
Yeah.
number 4, technically Millard South, going up against Papillion La Vista South. Millard South's been so dominant. What should we know about that one tonight?
I mean, you're going to see Division I Power 4, Division I athletes all over the field, a well-coached team. They obviously were very dominant last year in a close state championship victory against their arch rival, West Side. They have blown through the competition both locally and nationally. They are or were a nationally ranked team, and so this is actually a big task there for Papillion La Vista South. But I think Papillion La Vista South is trying to surprise some people with how competitive they are. They built their program, and they've gotten better each week. And so they've worked their way to this state championship game. But if you're able to watch this game in person and, deal with the weather, but then more importantly, watch on TV with the great broadcast over there with another black shirt, Jay Moore, you're going to see one of the best put together high school teams in the Midwest in quite some time. And they have size, they have speed, their explosiveness, they have a little bit of swagger. But to be honest with you, they're just flat out that good.
Millard South, their closest game this year. Now, they had to forfeit one that they played in Nevada because it violated some NSAA rules. We can talk about that a little bit later. Their closest game in terms of a score, 62-21 against Omaha West Side.
Yeah.
That's been their closest margin
that was just
in the semifinals. Yeah. Tonight, they play Papio South, and Papio South comes in with an 11-1 record here on the season. Should be a good one. We'll have a 7 o'clock pregame, 7:15 kickoff for the Class A state championship. For Jay Foreman, I'm Nick Sainert. Thanks to Jake Bachhoven, Harrison Arns, the entire 93.7 The Ticket crew back in our studios. The Bishop Neumann Cavaliers, your Class C2 state champions with a 37-15 win over GICC. We'll say so long for now and talk to you at 7 p.m. for the Class A title game here on 93.7 The Ticket.
Imagine starting your day with a computer glitch that leaves you feeling stuck, frustrated, and unable to get your work done. You have 1,000,001 things to get done today, and waiting for the tech issue to solve itself isn't one of them. It's time to let Hamilton handle the tech so you don't have to. We help businesses across the state